It's America's home for political play-by-play. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, August 24th, 2026. Welcome into the Owen Report, your home for political play-by-play. The fastest 3 hours on the internet starts now. Guys, it's the last week of August. I guess you get a little bonus Monday next week. The kids are all back in school. Summer vacation is over. It's the last week of August. What are you going to do with it? Act accordingly. Summer flew right by. And all we really have is Groundhog Day in the Middle East, isn't it? That's all we really have to show for it. Another Groundhog Day in the Middle East. It's Groundhog Day again today, by the way. And it's all about the Iran war. It's all about the Middle East and everything we're doing to try and solve this problem. And because we have to focus on this problem, we can't solve any of our other problems. Now we got beef problems. Now we got economy problems. Can't solve these. See, we can't solve these. We're stuck in the Middle East. We're stuck in a war with Iran. We simply cannot solve these issues. And these issues are getting worse, by the way. A lot of propaganda going around. I'm going to look at the economic news. We've got news on this beef deal. This is the second go-around of a beef deal, by the way. We all know what happened with the first beef deal that Trump made with Argentina. Looks like he's making this one with Argentina as well. He still won't clarify all the details, and who knows if they even have all the details. But he did admit, okay, we are making with Argentina. And he says, hey, don't you guys know Argentinians are suffering? Don't you know the dire straits that Argentina was in? Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I thought this was Make America Great Again. I thought this was America first. No, this is Make Argentina Great Again. This is Make Argentina first. So it's Iran first. It's Israel first. It's Argentina first. It's Venezuela first. It's Cuba first. Oh, my gosh. What's next? Anything but America. Well, we've got some new details on this beef deal. We're going to look at that. We've got some new developments on the war in the Middle East. Honestly, there's so much. It's like it's hard to even keep up. There's so many different puzzle pieces on this deal. It's hard to even keep up. Like, I'm just sitting here going through it all. And I wasn't even going to respond to the propaganda until I saw it on Fox News right before I went live. And clearly Fox News has a deal with the Trump administration, by the way. And it comes out over the weekend. I'm going to talk about this data Republican situation a little bit. It's honestly just another I told you so. And so I'm going to do the same deal with the Fox News deal. They say, oh, and they're all running cover for the Trump administration. Say traffic in the Strait of Hormuz is up 400%. It's a total lie. It's complete propaganda. They're changing the timeline, and they're pretending like it just started a month ago. So you're already cooking the books, and the deal they have is clearly, whether it's Fox News or somebody else, but we get a little hint of it over the weekend of how it works on social media. So the deal is, hey, Fox News is going to run propaganda for the Trump administration. And the Trump administration is going to, do a favor for them and give them the exclusive interviews on Trump or Besson or anybody else from the administration, Marco Rubio, you name it. Anybody Fox News wants, any exclusive they want, they're going to get that from the Trump administration. This has happened before, by the way. But, they got to scratch the Trump administration's back, too. So if the Trump administration needs some good press on the Strait of Hormuz, that's where Fox News serves. They'll come in and they'll run propaganda. And I guess the unfortunate realization as we're going through all of this, the unfortunate realization is forget policy. Policy, there will be the differences. But as far as propaganda is concerned, the right wing does it too. As far as propaganda is received, right wingers, MAGA, they seem to just love it. They love their propaganda. As long as it's pro-right wing, pro-Trump, whatever the cause is, they are totally down with the propaganda. They don't mind it at all. And they get pissed at you when you won't go along for the ride. They get mad at you if you won't propagandize the American people. If you won't fall for obvious lies, they get mad at you for that. And then that will lead us to the latest developments in the war, in the Middle East. And then we got some other odds and ends here before we sign off as well. But most of the focus is going to be on the economic news, the latest stuff going on with the war in Iran. We'll tie it all into midterms. And then we got some other odds and ends, a little bit of the beef. We got beef. Where's the beef? The beef will be right here. So all of that and more coming up on today's Owen Report. Brought to you by Crash Out Energy. Guys, more people are trying this for the first time, and they're coming back with rave reviews. It makes me very proud, I have to tell you. It makes me very happy. Of course, this is my proprietary blend. It's my proprietary formula. I was drinking the energy drinks every day before the show, making sure I get my 200 milligrams of caffeine. And then I was chasing it down with the different nootropics that I take as well for mental energy, mental focus. And I said, you know what? I don't want to drink these toxic energy drinks the rest of my life. It's too much. It's too much. We know it's not good for us. I can't do it anymore. But I need that caffeine. I need that energy before a 3-hour transmission. But I also like the nootropics. Why don't I put them all into one formula that is actually good for you? That's what we did. Crash Out Energy. Get yours today at crashout.energy. People are loving it. I'm telling you. I'm hearing from more people that are trying it for the first time, and they're telling me how much they love it. They love the mental focus. They love the energy. They love that there's no crash. They love that it's good for them instead of bad for them, like most other energy drinks out there. Try yours today at crashout.energy.
On the cutting edge of news and analysis, the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right. Well, I was actually gonna play this video before I even came on here. It's kind of like a pre-show video. I'll play it now. We'll start off a little loose here. I'm curious. The chats are already off the chain. I'm kind of curious in the chats. Yeah, this pretty much sums it up, doesn't it, here, guys? We'll kill the music there. You've got 2026 talking to 2019. I'd say that pretty much sums it up right there. Imagine. I know that some people have done the skits where it's like, oh, yeah, and you get out of a coma and you hear about 2026 MAGA, or you get out of a coma. Everybody knows the bit, and you talk about the pre-COVID world versus the post-COVID world. But yeah, imagine trying to explain somebody that's a big Trump supporter, big MAGA in 2019, everything that's happening now in 2026. They'd be pretty shocked. And I guess before we get into the news, we've been ahead of the curve on where MAGA is going. And so I talked about the divide, and then I talked about it becoming permanent. We talked about how there was the denial phase. Now it's the acceptance phase, shoot the messenger phase. So I'm going to tell you what's coming next. The realization, it's almost complete. The realization of what this administration is and what this administration isn't is just about complete. And I suppose the only mystery that remains is, I guess, maybe you still have hope in Trump, or you still think that he's going to end up doing the right thing, or you have some sort of a Q believer mindset, like it's all part of a larger plan. Outside of that, the realization of what the administration is and what it isn't is pretty much complete. Now, the phase that we're kind of in now is breaking down the barriers, hitting the barbed wire, and clearing the path out for people behind us. Now, I could give some examples, but you can kind of see where somebody like me that's been going against the Trump administration for over a year versus people that used to call me out on that, tell me to stop doing that. Well, now they're sounding like me. Now they're going against the Trump administration. Now they're saying the things that I was saying over a year ago. So you've kind of already seen that realization happen in real time, but it's getting a little deeper. And I want to be careful here because at times I think I've maybe said a little bit too much. So I just want to be a little careful here. Guys, I'm getting messages and phone calls. Again, I have to be very careful in my phrasing here. You can use your imagination as to why. I'm getting messages and phone calls from people who are about as close to the Trump administration. Well, they're closer than me. All right, let's just put it like that. They're way closer than me. You might even say they've been way friendlier over the years, 4 years even, way friendlier with the administration, way friendlier with the family even. And maybe they still are to an extent, or they've just decided, you know what, we're just out. We're just not going to be involved anymore. I'm getting these calls and messages, quite a few over the weekend, quite a few even today. And they're basically just saying, you're right, don't stop. Most people here agree with you. And so eventually you're going to start to see and hear more of these people with large platforms, more of these people that have been extremely pro-Trump advocates for years. All the walls are starting to come down. All the barriers are starting to come down. And with each passing day, hope dwindles. And I see it. I see, the people that will say, well, this is a redundancy factor. I totally get that. But there's a purpose. There's a purpose here. We are beating down the walls of propaganda that they have built around this administration. And in the process, any of their propaganda agents will be exposed and must be exposed. This is part of the process now. If Trump doesn't want to save the country, if Trump doesn't want to be a part of saving America and doing the things that need to be done, if Trump doesn't want to do that, then fine. He'll do what he wants to do. But the people that are going to stand in the way of we, the people, taking our country back, the people that are going to stand in the way and try to build these walls of propaganda around the administration or try to send propaganda at you to keep you confused and disoriented in this process, they must also be exposed. So the reason why I'm telling you this, just keep your eyes peeled. Because the people that are willing to run propaganda for this administration is dwindling. It's getting less and less. So expect the heat to be turned up. Now, I'll just leave it at that. Just know that we're on the right path, guys. That's kind of why I share this with you today. Now, here is the chart for today's headline. The top 1% of U.S. earners now have more wealth than the entire middle class. So this is where the Republicans are going to lose young voters. And they might believe that maybe you won't see the damage because there's plenty of boomers left out there that vote. There's plenty of boomers left out there that support President Trump. I don't know if those numbers amount to, well, what they amount to at a local level, state level, national level. But I guess that's kind of the belief. Younger people are back to where they were at in, say, 2008 and all the way up to maybe like 2018, where young people felt hopeless with the process. They felt they would never get out of debt. They felt they could never get into the asset column, never own a home, just constantly in debt, constantly paycheck to paycheck. And that was kind of the attitude of young people. And then you had a window of time where it looked like, hey, okay, 2018, like, okay, maybe things are starting to turn around. Then obviously COVID and everything after that. Now it's like back to 2018 levels. And there's so many different markers in the economy that agree with this. So young people are feeling hopeless. They feel that the American dream is no longer attainable. And then they see the Republicans, they see Trump telling them how great it is, telling them it's the greatest economy ever. You're turning these people off from voting for at least 1 or 2 election cycles. And it's just pure propaganda. It's just pure BS. And everybody knows it. But hey, if people in the right-wing media want to pretend that that's not the case, if people in the right-wing media want to continue to just shell out bull crap because they want to be on Trump's good side or they want to continue to run this charade that Trump is working for the American people only, then they can do that and continue to expose themselves. But on the Trump accounts, how does this make you feel? Gavin Newsom encourages Californians to open Trump accounts for kids. And Newsom's at a campaign event over the weekend, and he's telling the audience how great the Trump accounts are. And he encourages everyone to open a Trump account. Oh, Newscom. How you like that one? Of course, you all know why, don't you? Because it's a giant insider trading stock market pump and dump. That's why. I bet Gavin Newsom has a nice stock portfolio that benefits from every single person that opens up a Trump account. It's actually worse than insider trading. It's like fascistic insider trading. It's like fascism trading. It's outrageous. Trump accounts. You know, I got this story at the end of the show, too. You know, Trump's putting his face on newly minted coins, too. That's official now because they're starting the new mint. So you're gonna get the Trump coin there. That's nice. That's nice. So, hey, you know, those Trump accounts, guys, they're good enough for Gavin Newsom. They're good enough for you. Right? That's how we feel. So over the weekend, well, Trump actually, he did a rally for Darlene Graham. I don't even want to get into the whole Darlene Graham thing today, or Mitch McConnell, wherever he is. But Trump does a rally for Darlene Graham this weekend. I want to play a short clip, but I want to tell you what I saw happen. It happened at the rally, and then it happened after the rally. And when you understand how propaganda works, and when you understand how midterm messaging works, it's like you can't miss this. So here's Trump at the rally over the weekend. Let me interpret what is about to happen now and what this indicates, Trump over the weekend.
I'm going to be impeached. They're going to impeach me. They have no idea why. I saw today a congressman said on one of the shows, we're going to impeach President Trump. We're going to impeach him. Oh, really? Why? The person was asking. A neutral commentator for a change. I like neutral commentators. Oh, I see. You're going to impeach him. Why? Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure about that, Mr. President. The Democrats are not going to make the same mistakes they did in 2018. Who I can't believe who's ever advising this man is setting him up for a massive failure. But hey, you know what? We don't even care anymore. Trump doesn't want us. He sold us out. So good luck. Good luck, Mr. President. I hope you have fighters that are with you now that were like us original supporters. I hope you have fighters with you now that were like me and willing to go to jail for you 3 times. I hope that you have fighters like us that were willing to get censored and sued and death threatened for you, President Trump. I hope those type of people still support you for your sake. But I doubt it, considering they didn't support you for the first administration or they didn't support you when it was tough. When it gets tough again, my guess is they'll all bow out because they're all cowards and frauds. But somebody's not advising you of this. And if you really think that the Democrats don't know what they're going to impeach you for, then you're just foolish. You're just foolish. Of course, they're not going to answer that question. Of course, they're not going to tell you because you're in the process of covering up all of your crimes right now. And I've got that in the news, by the way. Yeah. Why do you think the Trump family is trying to be immune from any investigation? Why do you think the Trump family is claiming that they're above the IRS and the IRS can't touch them? Why do you think Scott Bessent makes an announcement today saying we're going to get rid of this anti-corruption act where if you have offshore bank accounts, you have to reveal those and you have to have a name on them. They're saying, oh, no, you can have offshore bank accounts and we won't be allowed to look at that now. Why do you think this is all going on? Because Trump is corrupt and he's covering up all his crimes. So, of course, the Democrats aren't going to come out here and tell you how they're going to impeach you because this time they actually have the goods. This time they actually have real avenues to impeach you with. Whether it's the boat strikes, whether it's blowing up schoolgirls, whether it's an entire war without congressional approval, whether it's the insider trading, you name it. They've got at least 4 different ways to impeach you. And they might go with all 4 or more. But that's not even the point. So Trump is coming out here now. They have decided, this is now the midterm messaging. Go vote for Republicans or Trump is going to be impeached. Go vote for Republicans or Trump is going to be impeached. Now, let me tell you one other thing about that message. That will actually motivate people to go vote Democrat. Yes. Yes, it will. And the fact that whoever is advising Trump, who's ever writing these speeches, who's ever saying, what is our midterm messaging going to be? It just shows how out of touch they are. This is the last thing you should be saying right now. Go vote for Republicans or Democrats are going to impeach me. People want you to be impeached. Your approval rating is like 35%. What are you talking about? That's like Trump saying, go vote for Republicans or the Democrats are going to get me out of office. The Democrats will get record voter turnout. You suck. People don't like you. There is a very large percentage of 3-time Trump voters like myself that are completely sick of you. Don't go out there and say, vote for Republicans or Democrats are going to impeach me. Oh my gosh, that's the greatest message Democrats could get. That's the greatest campaign message Democrats can get, and it's Trump delivering it. Are you nuts? Who is advising you, Mr. President? So then there's the other angle. The communists are coming. The communists are coming. Now, first, this is the most empty argument that exists in right-wing politics today. Not that there aren't communists, not that communism isn't a threat. Oh, no. No, let me be quite clear here. I am very anti-communist, and I do recognize the threat of communism. But let's be perfectly clear. The threat of communism coming out of this Republican Party's mouth is laughable. You guys are communists. You guys are socialists. I'm so sick of this low IQ drivel that MAGA tries to slop on our plates. So the midterm messaging is go vote Republicans or Democrats will impeach Trump. Well, that's bad. That's going to make people want to vote Democrat. So that's a total failure. But okay, that's what they're running with right now. And then the other one is Go vote for Republicans to stop communists. What are you talking about? Communism overseas, foreign aid, foreign wars, all this stuff. We all know what it is. That is socialism. That is globalism. How much of the American taxpayer dollars end up getting shelled out overseas? It end up getting shelled out into different socialist programs? Please, the Republicans aren't communists. The Republicans are just as communist as anyone else. Stop it. This is a joke. And so I don't think that one lands either. Now, that might be more effective to the general population. That might be more effective to your average conservative. Definitely the boomers, for sure, the boomers. But I'm sorry. I'm not buying this whole Republicans are taking a stand against communism. Stop it. Just stop it. You guys don't do a damn thing. And tell me how. Tell me what a communist would do. Would a communist have a record deficit spending? Oh, that's right. That's Trump's administration. Would a communist create record debt? Oh, yeah, that's Donald Trump. Would a communist create record high interest payments? Oh, yeah, that's Donald Trump. That's right. But hey, we're against communism, guys. Totally. We're conservatives here. We're fighting communism. And then the messaging went out to all the paid propagandists. These people have to be getting paid. Go on your social media accounts and tell everybody to vote Republican in the midterms to stop the communists. And so if you're on X like I am, if you're on social media like I am, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It was so obvious when you know how these digital influence campaigns work. It's so obvious when they hit the newswire. It's just because they send out the presser, and then everyone gets on their social media account and pumps the same thing. It's not a mystery. Some of the stuff you can actually see it when it's actually disclosed. So for some of the social media accounts that have the disclosures, you can see it, it's disclosed. They don't disclose this stuff, folks. They're posting this stuff, and they've got their own, what they believe is a loophole, where if they're just part of this digital influence group, but we're not directly paying you to post on social media, but we're sending out a presser with an idea. And if you just decide to post that on social media with virtually the same messaging, that's your decision. That's not part of the gig. That's just your decision, right? Yes. So Trump was out here campaigning, get used to it. The Democrats win, they impeach me. That's going to make people want to vote Democrat. And then, oh, we're fighting to stop the communists. And then every time Trump says that at a campaign rally, you're going to log onto your social media and see all the digital influence campaigners telling you how Trump is fighting communism and we have to vote for Republicans to stop communism. Now, the irony of that is, aside from the fact they're all communists and that people want Trump impeached, the irony of all of it is that in this moment, this is the great admission that Trump has failed. That's what this is. Let's just be honest about this. If the Republican messaging for the midterms is vote for us to stop communists, vote for us to stop impeachment, then Trump has failed. The Trump administration has failed. And the Republican Party is a failure along with it. If the Trump administration was successful, they'd be running on the deportation numbers. If the Trump administration was successful, they'd be running on the fact that there are no new wars. If the Trump administration was successful, they'd be showing off $2 a gallon gasoline. If the Trump administration was successful, they'd be showing how the cost of living has plummeted and it's affordable again. This is, of course, if the Trump administration was successful. It is not. It is a failure. In fact, quite frankly, it's a betrayal. It's borderline criminal and treasonous. But watch out. I don't want to, let's not get the MAGA tards too upset on a Monday, guys. I'd like a couple of days before I have to return to that content, please. Oh, I know what they're going to do with that clip. Oh, boy. I know how that one's going to play out. But that's the truth. The fact that this is the midterm messaging is the admission the Trump administration has failed. It has failed. It is a disaster. It is a betrayal. That's the story of the Trump administration, a story of disaster and betrayal. And so instead of going to the campaign and telling you all the successes, they're saying, hey, vote for us to stop communism. Pfft, pathetic. Hey, vote for us or they're going to impeach Trump. Really, that actually sounds kind of nice to me as a 3-time Trump voter. Yeah. So that's the big admission, guys. That's the big admission that the Trump administration has failed. But hey, go vote Republican anyway. I mean, what a joke. What a joke. So, you know what? I got all the different clips and I got all the evidence points that this is going to happen. But let's just move on for the sake of time. I think we get it because I want to play these Trump clips before we take our first break today. So let's go. We got a couple different events here, a couple of different Trump clips here. Let's go to the first one from this weekend. Trump on a tarmac here, taking some couple questions about the bond market and the war.
So that's all money. No taxpayer money for the ballroom at all.
So that'll end up being just a total lie. All right. So let me just tell you this right now. That will be a complete and total lie, if it isn't already. I'm willing to bet. How much are you willing to bet that there will be taxpayer dollars on the ballroom? It already probably has. And just for those keeping score at home, this all started where Trump said it was a $200 million project. He raised $200 million privately. And at the time, we still had some faith in Trump. And so when he was shaking down Mark Zuckerberg and shaking down Bill Gates, shaking down these people, we thought, okay, Trump's shaking them down to do something for the American people. And we were hoping this is not Trump becoming friends with the bad guys. This isn't Trump courting the evil monsters. This is Trump shaking them down, a little olive branch, and saying, hey, you're going to help us out and we'll leave you alone. It's like, okay, well, maybe understand that. And it all just turned out to be a total lie. So they covered up the truth about the project, and then they said it would be $200 million. And then, of course, Congress got involved in all the different departments and bureaucracy in D.C., and they said, well, now, hold on a second, Mr. President. You can't just, you're not a dictator here, sir. There's different laws and rules and regulations. We still got to get some clearance with all of this. And then it turned out they lied about the project, and then the rest is history. Well, now they believe it's going to cost $600 million. So where's the money going to come from? So I guarantee you, this right here is going to be a total lie.
So that's all money. No taxpayer money for the ballroom at all.
I bet you that's going to be a total lie. All right, we go on.
Did you direct Secretary Besson to intervene in the bond market?
No, not at all. No, he's a very capable man. He wanted to do it. He's very good at it. He has a good touch.
He's very good at it. Do you guys know why? Because he worked for George Soros. That's why. And I actually like Besson. I still like Besson, actually. I think he's the only one in there that seems to be competent at all. Yeah, he's good at that. He did that for George Soros. Trump brought him in from the Soros organization, just for those keeping score at home.
A good natural touch for the bonds and interest, and he did that, yeah.
The yields have come back up since then. Have you talked to him about another type of intervention? Is that something he will be doing?
We have many types of intervention. That's one. The ultimate intervention is our military. And if we have to use that, we will, yeah.
We're using our military for a bond intervention? What are we even talking about here, guys? What are we even doing here, guys? We're talking about military intervention for the bond market. What are we even doing, guys? Like, what does this become? MAGA? This is MAGA? Jeez, bro. So at first, Trump was being hush-hush about where he's buying the beef. I think now we know why. He's forced to come clean when the press asks him on Air Force One.
The question is, what do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, as
Look,
they are
Argentina is fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it.
Oh, you stupid American. See, this is Trump at his weakest right here. Trump is weak. He's exposed. And the question that he gets asked here exposes him as a total fraud, exposes him as a loser and a fraud. Trump lost the deal on the Iran beef. They recalled 30,000 pounds of it on the first deal. Now we know more about that deal, by the way. I'll have that coming up in a second. So he was trying to cover up. He's cutting another deal with Argentina. A reporter asks him a totally fair question, and he says, "You don't know anything, young lady. You don't know anything." Totally legit question. He gets exposed, and so he attacks this reporter here. Oh, because listen, America, you don't understand. Argentina is suffering. They're fighting for their life. What a fraud you are. What about America fighting for its life? What happened to that Trump? What happened to the Trump that talked about how America was fighting for its life? No, now it's, oh, shut up, America. Shut up, American. Shut up, cattle ranchers. Shut up, farmers. Get ready. He's going to make a big insult against the farmers soon, too. Get ready. He will. It's inevitable. Just like he insulted the military the other day. He'll insult the farmers, too. He's going to burn every bridge to the American people that exists, guys. It's over. This guy is going to burn it all. And he has nobody in there telling him the truth, or maybe he just doesn't even care anymore. So very soon, there'll be a sound clip or two where he's just outright attacking the American farmers and blaming them, calling them lazy or stupid or something. Get ready. It'll happen. It's guaranteed. Mr. President, the cattle ranchers are upset. You've done another deal with Argentina. What's your problem? Don't you know Argentina's suffering? Don't ask questions like that. We're fighting for Argentina here. Don't you know anything? It's Argentina first. I mean, this is clown world stuff.
They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help.
And now do the Palestinians. Oh, no. Okay, right. So, but why do I care? Since when is Argentina's problem my problem, Mr. President? Or is it because they work for Israel now? Is that what it is? Is it because Argentina is now another occupied country by the Israeli regime, and so now you work for them too? Is that what this is about, Mr. President? Because that's what it looks like this is about.
Them survive in a free world. I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can, but don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying.
Oh, so Milei is just like you, a total failure. So Javier Milei, he's going to save the Argentina economy. Don't you guys remember? He was campaigning with Trump. He was campaigning with Musk. He was in D.C. for the inauguration. Milei was going to save the Argentinian economy. Milei was going to rescue Argentina. That was the big promise. And oh, the Argentina economy has collapsed. They have nothing, according to Trump. They have nothing. And now you have to bail them out again. So just like Trump with deep state arrest, mass deportations, everything else, it was all a lie. Same thing with Milei, all a lie. And they both work for the same people. Israel. So there you go, guys. Now, the farmers are all pissed at this, obviously. And every American should be pissed at this. Trump is now telling you, the American, that, sorry, Argentina is more important now. I don't want to hear about your suffering. Now, by the way, the beef that we're buying, guys, this is getting really weird, okay? This is getting strange. The beef that we're buying from Argentina is getting constantly rejected around the world, specifically in China. And remember, the last import of beef that the Trump administration ordered from Argentina, 30,000 pounds were recalled. Now, this latest round is, again, China is rejecting this. Argentina is trying to sell this beef to China, and China rejects it. Mostly because it tests positive for a chemical, chloramphenicol, which is an animal antibiotic banned in food-producing animals. So Argentina, they're putting this banned chemical in the beef They try to sell it around the world. They get rejected. And then Trump says, okay, we'll buy it. We'll buy that illegal beef from you. We'll buy that beef that can't even pass inspection because we will bail you out. I will force the American taxpayer to bail you out, Argentina. Why, guys? Why? Now, we all know why. The obvious is why. But maybe you don't agree. Maybe you're just asking the why. So they can't sell the beef anywhere. It gets rejected. It fails testing. It has banned chemicals in it. And then Trump says, we'll buy it. We'll bail you out. And then screws over the American farmer. Now, last week, we had a call into the show. And I forget who the caller was. And they stumped me, actually, because I didn't get the joke. So I want to give credit to the caller. You got one on me. You got one on me. I didn't realize you were serious. You guys may recall last week somebody said, you know, they're going to be feeding us wild horses. I thought that was some joke. I thought it was just a funny joke. I didn't realize that was real. Under Trump, protected wild horses are going to slaughter. A legal loophole allows the government to sell Mustangs on the cheap, stripping them of protection and clearing their path to destruction. What in the hell is going on? What in the hell is going on here, man? What in the hell is going on? By the way, now they're saying, you may have seen the videos where the southern border is open now. In fact, I caught a lot of heat for sharing those videos. So those videos are true. Now, the Trump administration is claiming that they're doing this because first they said it was for rains. Obviously, that was so stupid. They had to just pretend they didn't say that stupid thing. MAGA people fell for that, though. MAGA people fell for it. They had to open a fence, a gate with holes in it so that floodwaters could get through. Oh, my gosh, MAGA. They fell for that one, guys. I mean, wow. How dumb do you have to be? So now they're saying that they've opened up the border so that Mexican cattle can roam and cross the border. And they're saying, well, we originally had it closed because of the screwworm, but we're reopening it now. So they're saying, oh, the reason why the southern border is open, the reason why the wall is open, the gates are open, is so that cattle can roam freely across the border. So this is their claim, because obviously stopping floodwaters makes no sense in the middle of August in a fence that has holes in it. MAGA fell for that for a couple days, but obviously that's nonsense. So now they're saying it's for this cattle. Now, that could be true. And obviously the border's supposed to be under Trump and Biden. Nobody's denying that. But it is confirmed, yes, the border is open, and there are now illegals crossing over the border again in these areas where they've opened the gates. And this has been caught on film. It is now happening again. Now, I guess you could argue they're not getting the subsidies. They're not getting all the free money, free housing, everything else that came along with the last administration. So it's not as bad, but that is happening. They tried to pretend it wasn't, but it is. Now they're saying also, okay, they're doing this because we're not afraid of the screwworm anymore. And then they're saying this is going to help with beef prices. So they just totally made that up. Economists don't expect reopening the U.S. to Mexican cattle imports to reduce high beef prices. The U.S. is reopening a border crossing in Arizona to cattle from Mexico as part of a broader effort by the Trump administration to reduce near record high beef prices. I'm sorry. Record high beef prices, guys. MAGA, baby. Record high beef prices, guys. Golden age. It's the golden age, man. I have not found any individuals in the rancher community, farming community. You know, some of them have a social media presence. I talk to some of them. Some of them come on the show. I'm not seeing any positive response. They all seem to be, many of them have gone from sour on Trump to extreme frustration or even resentment of Trump over this deal. Now, for the most part, Trump just ignores it. Trump is dealing with whatever it is to make himself and his family rich, and that seems to involve the Middle East more than anything else. So that seems to be what this administration is all about, really. But the cattle ranchers are pissed. Here's a little taste. Here's a little taste of how they feel. This is a farmer, cattle rancher in Nebraska.
Hello, my fellow Nebraskans. It's Trent Loose with today's 2-minute warning. Turns out I might be the last person to weigh in on this decision today that Donald Trump announced on not charging tariffs on imported beef for the next 90 days to get a cheap ground beef supply to the American consumer. Everybody's shocked and disappointed. I'm not. I expected this. I've been studying this guy's pattern. This guy has been working with the elite of the world, the Larry Finks. Go research yourself. The chairman of the World Economic Forum, who plans for me and you not to own this land, not to own those cattle. We as consumers not to have access to animal protein. He's been working on this with these people for a long time. What I'm disappointed in is in the beef state. And by the way, one more issue about that. Donald Trump is leading the largest land grab since the Indian Wars. But you know what? The Indians fought back. We're not even fighting back. We're just continuing to lick the boots and say, hey, tell me, boss, what I do next. That's got to stop now. But in the beef state, the state of Nebraska, where we still pride ourselves in beef, we have 3 of our 5 congressional delegates, 1 in the Senate, 2 in the House, 3 of the 5 who've applauded the president for trying to get cheaper food supplies. Those 3 happen to all be in support of AI data centers, which leads to the largest land grab in the history of this country. And those 3 are the 3 of the 5 which are in campaign mode, not looking out for the best interests of the citizens of the state, but yet looking at where maybe the consumer will give an advantage. We, the consumer, need to speak up. We are tired of being a $50 billion a year industry where we import more agricultural products than we export. We have the resources. Get loud. Be involved.
Well, this whole get loud is going to end up in a direction, a noise going a single direction, and that's going to be at Trump. Now, this is going to close us out for the first hour. But let me re-emphasize something I said earlier. And let me even get a little more specific. I said earlier how I'm getting calls and messages from people closer to the Trump administration than myself. And I got to be careful how I phrase this, because last time I did this, I said a little too much, maybe got someone in trouble. So I just want to be a little careful here. But let me just tell you what has been said. Trump is doing nothing to stop the New World Order. In fact, Trump is now working with the you'll own nothing and be happy crowd. Trump is now a globalist, guys. There's no other way to put this. If you want it short and sweet, let's put it short and sweet. Trump is a globalist, and Trump is now working with the World Economic Forum Bilderberg types to essentially end the United States of America as we know it. He's turning it into an AI surveillance state. He has us caught up in another war for foreign interests. He's tanking our economy. He's printing money, destroying our debt. Take it how you will. Look at the evidence. I'm just telling you guys, I wouldn't be bringing this to you if it wasn't significant. The realization on the inside has begun. Okay? Trump is a globalist. Trump works with the you'll own nothing and be happy people now. He doesn't work for you. He doesn't care about you. To the only extent that Trump cares about you is how much money can he steal from you? And can he trick you into voting for Republicans in the midterms so that he doesn't have to deal with the Democrats? That's it. It's all an act, guys. I would not be reporting this to you if this wasn't people a lot closer to the situation than me saying it. You know, I can look at this from the outside and say, yeah, this is pretty clear that that's how it's going. But I'm telling you guys, even a year ago, even 6 months ago, I would not be getting these types of messages and phone calls from people this close, let's say. And I'm going to leave it at that. I think you can probably get an idea. But, I mean, it's like, guys, forget about even the specific different issues that we might have, domestic policy, foreign policy. Trump is a globalist now, okay? Trump is a globalist. He's serving the globalist agenda. AI surveillance centers, tanking the economy, another war in the Middle East. Wake up, guys. He's not a nationalist. He's not serving America's people. He's not with us. He works for the money. It's over. Now, if you still want to vote Republican in the midterms because you think they're better than the Democrats, that's fine. Vote however you want in the midterms. It's not going to make a difference. It's probably not going to make much of a difference, guys. All things considered. Except maybe for Trump personally. Other than that, I don't really know if any of it's going to make a difference. So vote however you want in the midterms. If you think Republicans are better than Democrats, whatever. But understand, if you think voting for Republicans means you're voting to support the Trump agenda, which is America first and nationalist and populist, you're wrong. Trump's a globalist now. Trump works with the you'll own nothing and be happy people now. It's cooked, guys. It's cooked. This is just the God's honest truth. And eventually, everyone will figure it out.
You're listening to the Owen Report on the Win Network.
All right, we enter the second hour of today's Owen Report, brought to you by our friends at Allegiance Gold. If you're like me, you're thinking, what do you want to do? Where is the dollar collapsing? Is it safe to have savings in a bank account? Are you thinking about what you want to do with your wealth, your finances? Are you thinking about gold? Are you thinking about silver like I am? Something you can have, something you can hold, something you can keep in a safe, something that has a history of maintaining its value? By the way, huge gold futures purchases happened to open this week. We're going to be talking about that a little more later this week. But if that's how you feel about the situation, you need to give a call or go to protectwithowen.com. Talk to my friends at Allegiance Gold. Now, when you're dealing with your finances, there's one thing that you need. Obviously, an A-plus review with the Better Business Bureau. Allegiance Gold has it. Nearly 10,000 clients nationwide and an A-plus review with the Better Business Bureau. So give them a call. The call is free, 844-790-9191, 844-790-9191. And while you've got them on the phone, ask them about $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments. You heard that right. $5,000 in free gold and silver with qualified investments, whether through your 401k, IRA, or savings. They make it simple to move into something real before the next reset, which we all fear could be right around the corner. There's the phone number, 844-790-9191, or go to protectwithowen.com. That's protectwithowen.com. Protect your wealth because no one else will.
extra dimensional, and multi-universal. Here's your host, Owen Schroyer.
It's so pathetic. I'm sorry, I'm getting a laugh of it now. I'm kind of in the gallows humor phase right now, where it's just funny to watch the Trump slop, to watch the propaganda. I mean, this has been the case with Fox News for a while now. Fox News is virtually worthless, at least the cable network, the TV shows. Virtually worthless if you want to know what's really going on. I mean, it is just pure Trump slop. And they just have this segment in the break. Trump revs up America with the F-1-250. It's like, what? I'm sorry, nobody cares. Cool event. Hey, cool event. Don't get me wrong. Very cool event. For the F1 fans and for the F1 team, they basically said it was one of the coolest races ever. Apparently, they've been trying to do it for a while. I heard the TV production value of it was like impeccable. So, hey, great, cool. You did a great TV show. Like, so what? What? I'm supposed to be hearing about mass deportations. I'm supposed to be hearing about deep state arrests. Like, we're supposed to be cutting into the debt, cutting into the deficit, you know, cheap gas, affordable food. It's like all you can tell me is about a car race. Gosh. Oh, my gosh. So that's where they're at. Sounded fun, though. Also on Fox News, we'll get back into the we'll get back into the news here, and I see you in the chat. I'll just say we'll address the situation with the hair. Okay, we'll address it later. I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it when we're finished with the actual show and we get to the super chats, because I see it. You're all just it's fine. I'm surprised, but Jesse Waters tonight is going to be interviewing El Sayed. Now, maybe Waters is going to he thinks he's going to do some sort of a gotcha thing. I don't think that would go well. Now, I actually think, you know, I want to express something too. I think that a lot of people at Fox News basically go along to get along. All right. And if you're on air at Fox, they're probably paying you enough to just, you know, shut up. That's ironic. They pay you to talk on TV, but it's really they're paying you to shut up. You know what I'm saying? I kind of get the feeling Jesse might be one of those guys. But regardless, I don't know if that matters to what I'm about to say. I'm shocked. I don't see how putting El Sayed on Fox News right now ahead of this midterm, I don't see how that goes bad for him, honestly. I think that can only go good for him. Here, what the Republicans haven't figured out yet is that they cannot win on messaging. And you can sit here and bash the Democrat socialists. You can sit here and bash Muslims. But what you don't understand is that you can't win on messaging right now. That is not messaging. The messaging is, are you going to be against data centers? The messaging is, are you going to stop these foreign wars? The messaging is, what are you going to do for the affordability crisis? That's the messaging. Republicans have nothing to offer on that messaging. Guess who does? El Sayed. And he's going to do it tonight on Fox News with a massive right-wing viewership in Michigan ahead of the midterms. So maybe they think they're going to stick a harpoon in him. Maybe they think they can do some sort of gotcha thing. And if that's their thought process, I don't think so. I think you got another thing coming. So that'll be interesting. Also, programming note, I'll be doing a debate tonight on the midterms, about the midterms. That'll be at 7 p.m. We'll share that on social media. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's get back to the news. Now, you may have seen this story earlier. Buffalo Airport experiences delays from emergency fuel system repairs. It turned out the Buffalo Agra International Airport the report was they were out of fuel. They were out of jet fuel. Now, they've come out, I guess, and corrected the story. Now they're saying it was because of a fuel system issue. That might be true. I don't know. That's the claim. So if you saw that headline earlier, Buffalo Airport out of fuel, they're now saying it wasn't a fuel issue. It was a fuel systems issue. Let's hope that's the case. Let's hope that's the case. Okay, so the USS Abraham Lincoln story gives another interesting twist to it. Now, by the way, just on that note, the USS Lincoln is now officially headed to port. When it gets to port, it might be the longest in modern American military history. It will probably be called the longest time ever at sea. I don't know what the final, it's going to be over 250 days, I think. Normally, you don't do more than 200 days. Now, this is going to be an interesting situation. A lot of the stuff that's been slowly but surely kind of trickling into the news about the situation there, once they get to port, there could be a flood. Now, you know the Navy and the Trump administration, you know they're going to do everything they possibly can to shut these men and women up. You know that. Can they keep it under wraps? That's going to be the question. Can they keep the stories from the USS Lincoln under wraps? It is coming home. It's being replaced by the USS Washington. So that's going to be a story to follow up on. In this case, Border Patrol arrests father awaiting son's return from USS Abraham Lincoln. Oh boy, as if there wasn't enough of a morale issue. Now this one is interesting. Luis Manuel Aviles was arrested by immigration officers over the weekend. Aviles' son Joshua wrote in a Facebook post that he was still on board the USS Abraham Lincoln when he got word of his father's arrest. Luis has been a resident of the United States for nearly 20 years. His wife told the Associated Press. Okay, so they were basically stalking this guy. He pinged on some list that he was here illegally, and they got him. Now, this is where it kind of gets interesting. The woman said her husband, a handyman in Key West, Florida, has a permit to work in the United States. He's from Nicaragua, lived here for almost 20 years. Aviles' arrest comes amid the Trump administration repealing immigration protections for military families as part of its mass deportation efforts, detaining roughly dozens of parents and spouses of active duty U.S. troops. So as somebody that's for mass deportations, there is I think, a fair debate to be had here. I'd put this one up there with fair debate to be had. I can certainly understand looking at this situation and saying, maybe we want to offer some protection of military families so that they don't have to deal with deportations. I can certainly also understand no, they all have to go. I can understand both of these issues. Now, as far as the details being discussed, the family is saying that he's been trying to get his visa updated and they can't get through the bureaucracy, but he's had this permit to work. It's all of this stuff. I think that the issue now that the Trump administration is having is they aren't getting the deportation numbers. The deportation numbers are not good. And so they're just trying to find anybody they can to increase these numbers. Josh, who is active duty, says, "This is heartbreaking for me. I don't know how I can mentally continue working 12-plus hour days knowing that my dad is somewhere, possibly treated like a criminal." So it would go on and on from there. To me, there's different issues here. There's debates to be had here, but this just tells me that they are not doing the numbers that they need to do, so they're just picking off anybody they can, and this was probably an easy pick. He's already in the system. It pings because his work is expired. He's stuck in the bureaucratic process. System pings. They know he's not going to resist arrest. They know where he's at all the time. Go get him, deport him. That's the story to me, that they're not getting the deportation numbers they need. And this isn't a guy who came over in the Biden years, you know? So you can get, I'm okay. Hey, look, if you're on the side of they all have to go, you're not here legally, even with your backstory, sorry, gotta go. I'm not going to put up any fight there. But I do think we have to look at this and ask, well, where are the priorities? Why isn't the 20 million that the Biden administration brought in, why isn't that the focus? Why aren't they all going first? They should all have the fresh record. There should be some sort of a record and tracking system of all of them. And by the way, if there's not, then why aren't we going after the people that brought them in and didn't put them in the system? The whole thing is a mess. And we don't have the military operational capacity to do the mass deportations because the military is too busy fighting another war in the Middle East. But I don't think this story is going away. I think the USS Lincoln story is just beginning, guys. Now, this isn't good news either for the economy. Scott Bessent could tap nearly $1 trillion Treasury General account to fund bond buybacks. Yeah, it's just everything is going bad, and I don't think Scott Bessent can. I don't think Scott Bessent can save it. He'll give it a shot. He's going to try his best. Now, what is this about? Trump administration ends anti-corruption rule requiring shell companies to report ownership. The law establishing the disclosure requirements was originally introduced by Marco Rubio in the Senate. How ironic is that? An anti-corruption bill introduced by Marco Rubio is now getting spiked by the Trump administration. The Trump administration has finalized a rule that will allow shell companies and their questionable entities to conceal their ownership from federal investigators, in a move that critics say will only further facilitate corruption in the United States. Hey, guys, I don't know, but there's a lot of evidence mounting that the Trump administration is really corrupt. I mean, really corrupt. Like financial crimes all go to jail corrupt, like worse than the Biden crime family corrupt. The whole thing is so crazy. Why would the Trump family claim they're immune from the IRS? Why would the Trump family want full financial immunity and a potential pre-pardon before Trump leaves office? Why would the Trump administration be getting rid of this anti-corruption rule so that people can hide shell companies and offshore bank accounts from federal investigators? Why would the Trump administration be doing all of that unless they were committing these crimes and they were trying to protect themselves? Can't think of any other logical reason why they would be doing that. That is by far the most logical reason that we can, the conclusion that we can reach. The only other possible conclusion is, again, I don't say this to be facetious. Let's just look at the possible scenarios here. So this is either the Trump family is engaged in pure financial corruption, and they're trying to get rid of all the means and mechanisms of being caught and held accountable, or you believe in QAnon, and you think the Trump family is doing this as part of some QAnon plan to lure in all the bad guys that commit these crimes, so when the operation is over, they can reveal who the true criminals are. I don't really see any other option here. I don't really see any other potential here. And that's why I say, if you're still a Trump supporter, you have to be a QAnon person. You have to be. There's no other reason or logic to support what the administration is doing unless you believe in QAnon. I'm not saying I do. I'm just telling you that's the logic here. And then there's Flock. I don't want to play this clip. It's a bit of a longer clip, but Flock's CEO goes on Fox News and says that we can't ban Flock cameras because we need them for our safety. Why do these people sound like complete un-American trash? Do you guys know nothing about the history of the founding fathers? Do you know nothing about the founding documents, the Declaration of Independence? Do you not have the general soul and spirit of an American at all? We need to live in a surveillance state. We have to sacrifice some freedoms and some privacy for safety. You're un-American trash. You sound like communist scum. And the Trump administration is pushing this ahead of midterms? Yeah, because they're part of it. Trump works for them. Trump is a globalist now. And by the way, we got a comment from Trump on this, but Ken Paxton is trying to thread the needle here. I'm telling you, just stop it, guys. Just stop it. Ken Paxton says, my Texas First data center plan will protect our grid, our communities, and our children while ensuring America beats communist China in the AI race. Texas First always. Ken, what are you doing, man? You cannot be pushing data centers, brother. We cannot be pushing data centers. You're not threading the needle on this. You are not going to be able to spin data centers into an America First, pro-America, Texas First, pro-Texas thing. It is not happening. Don't even try. Just don't even talk about it. And my interpretation here is they have taken so much money from the Republicans' standpoint. They have already taken so much money from big tech that the deal is already done. The deal is already done. They're building the AI surveillance state, and any Republican that wants money from the GOP is going to have to push the data centers ahead of the midterms. That's my interpretation of this. And it's just such bad messaging. It's just don't even talk about it. Just don't even mention it. If you want to try to thread that needle, only address it when it's addressed to you. Only answer the question when you get asked. Don't just volunteer pro-data center messaging ahead of the midterms. Who is advising these people? Is there anyone in the GOP? Is there anyone in the Republican Party that has any sense of where the American people are at right now? Because it doesn't seem like it. I mean, you had Thomas Massey, you had Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then you had some others that, they kind of go along to get along, but they kind of got it too, like a Nancy Mace or a Lauren Boebert. Now they're kind of getting pushed out. I haven't even talked about the Nancy Mace thing. Maybe I'll get to that later if somebody brings it up. And then Trump. Now, this is where I predicted this would happen. Trump was asked about the data centers. And I said, the Republicans are eventually going to realize they're unpopular, and they're eventually going to realize it's bad messaging for the midterms. So they're going to take it down to a local level and just kind of go, okay, where does it work? Where does it not work? And that's basically what Trump says here.
No, I want them to do it. Some people feel differently. I really want them. If a Republican's against the data center, that's okay with me. I'm only saying that if I ran a community, now there are different types of communities, but generally speaking, if I ran a community, if I was a mayor or if I was a governor in the state, I would want to have the data centers because they bring tremendous income. They're clean. They produce their own energy. The new ones are producing their own energy. I would want to have data centers.
Yeah.
And that's another home run from the great Babe Ruth.
I knew that that's eventually where this one would land, that they just have to let the local races decide, because it's just going to be an unwinnable thing. There's going to be some races where if you push data centers, it's just going to be unwinnable for you. So they gotta do kind of pick and choose where they push it, where they don't. You know what's so crazy? Because you see, I'm sure you guys see it. I don't know how many people. It's on X, but it's on the media. It's in the TV media too. So I don't know where people are really consuming their news these days. I wonder. Hopefully just right here. The Owen Report's all you need. Really, that's all you need is the Owen Report. But you can see it. They're pushing the data centers. They're telling you how great they are. And it's so funny to me watching this because you and I both know, if the Biden administration was pushing data centers like this, all of these Trump supporters would be against it. As obvious as my man bun today, that if this was Democrats pushing the AI surveillance state, every single MAGA person would be against it. They'd be calling it communist. They'd be calling it Chinese communist-style censorship. They'd be calling it a violation of our privacy, a violation of our rights. They'd be calling it dystopian, and they'd be saying how bad it is, and on and on and on. But because Trump is doing it, but because Republicans are doing it, they like it. Now it's okay. Now they're going to push it. Now they're going to tell you how great it is. You know damn well if it was Democrats and Biden doing this or Kamala Harris doing this, you know damn well they'd all be against it. And that's what's so pathetic about this MAGA movement now. They're all phonies. They're all frauds. They stand for nothing. It's pathetic. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But this is why you guys must be destroyed. I'm sorry. I know, and it drives you crazy that this is the face that's going to destroy you. This is the hair that's going to destroy you. This is the crazy person that you try to gatekeep out of every possible thing politics, and this is what's going to destroy you. I'm sorry. You guys are the ones that did this, by the way. I never called myself the cuck destroyer. That was a reputation and a name that was earned. You guys are the cucks now. You must be destroyed. So, sorry. That's just how it's going to go now. And there's nothing you can do to stop it at this point. Now it's already over. Now it's already written in the stars. You might have been able to pump the brakes or slow it up, but no, it's over for you now. So you're going to have to be destroyed. You are. And every time you push these data centers, we'll be there. We'll be taking note. Every time you pump the Trump slop, we'll be there. We'll be taking note. Every time you want to talk about some trivial event like an F1 race or a UFC match at the White House, but you don't care about the actual issues, you don't care about the things we actually voted for, we'll be noticing that. And we'll be taking note as well, because it's fairly obvious. Some of you are just complete sellouts and frauds. Some of you just might be dumb. Some of you just might be brainwashed. But some of you are just total sellouts and frauds. But we will know specifically, because the same group of people, there is a massive Venn diagram happening here, and the same group of people over here that support the war with Iran, and then the group of people over here that support the AI data centers, that Venn diagram with both of these groups in the center that promote both of them, boy, that's a big group, isn't it? That's a big group of people, and we know every single one of you. We're taking note. We're taking note. And you guys are kind of riding high right now because you do get a little access to the establishment. You do get propped up a little bit. You get access to the mainstream. You get access to Mar-a-Lago. You get access to the Trump administration. You get a little pat on the head. Maybe you make a little scratch. It's very short-lived. It will be very short-lived. You sold out. You sold out, and your little high is not going to last very long. Because in a very short period of time, you will all be looked at as phonies, frauds, and sellouts and traitors. Sorry, MAGA. Sorry, you sold out. You turned into everything we once stood against. You're now a giant cult, so you must be destroyed. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's tough. It's tough. But when you turned MAGA into more foreign wars, when you turned MAGA into more debt, when you turned MAGA into AI, data center, surveillance state, you just became the bad guys. You became what we stood against. You became the establishment. You became the deep state. So now you must be destroyed. Yeah. Sorry to say. But I can't tell, guys. Am I Darth Vader? Am I Anakin Skywalker? I don't know, but this is fun stuff right here. Darth Vader, this is hilarious stuff. Darth Vader shows up at a city council meeting in San Diego to talk about flock cameras.
The Emperor is a fan of block, and we must continue utilizing block technologies so that we can follow and surveil the rebel scum as they move from playground to playground, from playground to pool, from pool to gymnasium, because we all know that the block cameras are not only following the license plate readers, they are following children. They are following children in parks and gymnasiums, and we need this. I need this so I can stop my ex-girlfriend. Also, it should be known that the people of this town, the poors that want their storm drains cleared, they should not have their storm drains cleared. Because in order to do that, we will have to raise taxes. And how will the people trust the city council when this city council continues to vote for surveillance technology that imprisons them? Miss Campbell, you must work on your Jedi mind tricks. Do it like this. And when you do it, make sure that when you're double speaking them into telling them that police services have become more humanitarian, make sure that you don't emphasize the detail that you put a ban on camping. You put a ban. You made criminalizing homelessness illegal, and that is why there is no such thing as humanitarian policing for the homeless, because we have effectively criminalized homelessness, which is good. Now we can staff, now we can fill our jails with free prison labor, especially like that of the Otay Mason Detention Center, where they are making $1 a day for working for 12 hours. And there have been multiple cases of tuberculosis. Yes, and this is good. This is what the Emperor needs. This technology will help us find the rebel scum and their hidden base on Hoth. This technology will help us find Luke Skywalker as he traverses the universe in his X-Wing. This technology is a necessary force.
Thank you, Roger Ross. Is Roger Ross present?
That's pretty good stuff. That's pretty good stuff right there. All right. Let me just change lanes for a second. I probably should have put this earlier in the show with the midterm news, but let me get to this now. Some of you, I'm sure, saw over the weekend, Hassan Piker had some Democrat event. I think it was a DSA event. And I guess he did some mockery of Charlie Kirk. He sang a Charlie Kirk song. And so, you know, the right wing is looking at this as a mockery of Charlie Kirk and a mockery of his assassination, which, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'd say that's probably a fairly accurate, if not completely accurate depiction of what Hassan Piker was doing. So, okay. So this is being used over the weekend, you know, see, look at how bad Democrats are. See, look at Hassan Piker. See, look what they're doing. Oh, my gosh. You know, here's my problem with the complaints. And while the complaints might be legitimate, here's the problem. What does the Republican Party have to offer in response? And the answer, of course, is nothing. That's the problem. The Republicans have such a deep roster of potential that they could be offering. They could have 10 Hassan Pikers on the right wing that can counter the far left extremism, that can counter what Hassan Piker is doing on social media and now for the Democrat Party before the midterms. We have such a deep roster of potential talent in right-wing politics that there could be 10 Hassan Pikers for every one on the left. I mean, I don't need to sit here and go down the list. Okay, you can come up with your own list. But what's the problem? The Republicans gatekeep these people out of the process. The Republicans make sure that anybody that would counter a Hassan Piker or anybody that would be the opposite to balance that out, they gatekeep them out. They in fact, they don't just gatekeep them out. They kick them out. They scold them. They attack them. They say, we don't want you. They kick them to the curb, and then they put their foot down and own it. So I'm sorry. Oh, what do you know? A radical leftist is making fun of Charlie Kirk. There's nothing new there, guys. Yes, even after his assassination, this has been going on. It's grotesque. It's diabolical. These people are monsters. What do you offer in response? And the answer is nothing. So I'm sick and tired of hearing about this. Oh my gosh, it's all weekend with these MAGA people. It's all weekend with the Republicans. Look at Hassan Piker making fun of Charlie Kirk. Tell me what you have to offer in response or shut the fuck up. Okay? I'm sick and damn tired of hearing about MAGA and Republicans complaining about Hassan Piker. Either offer something in response or shut the fuck up. And the only reason you're complaining about him is because you know he's effective. If he wasn't effective, if he wasn't moving the needle, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't complain, you wouldn't share the videos, and you wouldn't complain and make a big case of it ahead of the midterms. The only reason you're complaining about Hassan Piker is because he's effective and he's moving the needle for the left. And all you do is sit here and complain. If you want to offer something up in response to it, that would be great. But until you do, shut up. And this is, in a way, this is like an encapsulation of exactly what's wrong with Republican Party politics, isn't it? They offer nothing in response. They complain about all the left-wing stuff all day long, and then they offer you nothing in response. Joe Biden floods the country with a bunch of illegal aliens. Alejandro Mayorkas runs an illegal immigration pipeline, a human trafficking operation, total treason against this country. What do the Republicans have to offer against that? Nothing. How many people have been punished or arrested for the Biden invasion at the southern border? No one. How many people have been deported by the Trump administration? Maybe 1 million or so? Maybe. They sit here, they complain about Biden opening the borders. They offer nothing in response. They complain about Hassan Piker. They offer nothing in response. And the people that would actually respond in an equal and opposite way, the people that would actually get in front of the Republican Party and give you results, they gatekeep them out and they say, we don't want you. In fact, we want everybody to know we don't want you. I mean, you could use Fuentes as a perfect example here. Think whatever you want about Nick, but let's just use this as a pretty good example. The Republicans, not only do they gatekeep Fuentes away from Republican events, no, they want to make sure that it is noted that they kicked him to the curb and they branded him, never will you be allowed. And then they're going to sit here and bitch and complain when he tells his audience to go vote Democrat. What did you think was going to happen? Why do Republicans have such a losing mindset? Oh my gosh, look at Hassan Piker. Oh, well, Hassan Piker, oh my gosh. Okay, who would be the right-wing Hassan Piker? Probably like Nick Fuentes. What do you guys do to Nick? You kick him to the curb, you stick a brand on his head, and you make sure everybody knows he's never allowed in. And then that's why you lose. And then you bitch and complain when he tells his people to vote Democrat. So I'm done. I'm so sick. Anybody that's going to complain about Hassan Piker in the Republican Party and offer nothing in response, I'm done. I don't care about you. You mean nothing. You're worthless. You offer nothing. You're a total, complete loser. And that's what they do. Now, by the way, you probably saw this over the weekend as well. A big propaganda operation trying to tell you that Trump's rally this weekend was a big success. Now, I want to be clear about something here. I'm going to use an example. I am not using this individual as an example because I think this guy is a good guy. I like this guy. I'm using this as an example to make a point. So when you see Matt Van Swoel on the screen here, this is not an attack on Matt Van Swoel. I like Matt. I think he's a good American. I'm using this as an example. And so if Matt sees this, Matt, this is not against you, just an example. But he's at the Trump rally this weekend, and I'll read his message here. 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been caught dead at a Trump rally. I was a liberal. I thought Trump was awful. Okay. So it goes on and on and on. He goes to his first Trump event. He films his response here. Again, this isn't anti-Matt. I like Matt. I'm using this as an example. So, okay, 2-year-long Trump supporter goes to the rally and shooting some video from inside. And you can see here, and this was part of the propaganda operation. I'm not saying Matt was. Again, this is just an example. Please don't stick any of this to Matt. This is just an example. And so it's, oh, look, they say MAGA is dead, but look at this rally. There's all these people here and yada, yada, yada. Well, here's the problem. And I'll kind of address Matt in this case for this example, but don't attack Matt. I like Matt. Here's the problem. As Matt says, he's only been a Trump supporter for 2 years. He says this is his first Trump rally. Matt, these rallies used to get like 10 to 20 times that size. That is a tiny MAGA rally. That is a tiny Trump rally. If you would have seen that size of a Trump rally in 2024, that would have been considered a miserable failure. If Trump had a rally that size in 2024, people would have been like, oh, crap, we're screwed. That rally is nothing to write home about. That rally is 5 to 10% of what Trump used to get at rallies. The excitement in the building is gone. Now, I know that's your first rally, and I know you've only been supporting Trump for a couple years. I'm telling you this as somebody that's been supporting Trump and going to rallies since 2015. I've been to, I don't know, 50? That ain't the good sign that you think it is, brother. That ain't the look at how strong MAGA is that you think it is. Actually, that is a sign that MAGA's dying, brother. That crowd is about 5% of what it used to be. About 5% of the size and about 5% of the energy, brother. I say this with nothing but love and respect. I'm just telling you the truth. And now, you know, here's the thing, too. Nobody even really cares about Trump rallies. But whatever, he's been president this long. Maybe that's a natural cause. They're kicking people out that wear kill your local pedophile shirts. And look, there's other dynamics and complexities to the whole thing. I'm not telling you it's some simple thing, but the optics obviously aren't very good. They kick you out and you're wearing a kill your local pedophile shirt, and they have these images, and of course, you know, the left is going to roll with this. Hell, the anti-Trump right is going to roll with this. Why wouldn't we? It's not good optics. There's a guy wearing a kill your local pedophile shirt. He's being escorted out of the rally by security. And then you've got all of these MAGA people, these Trump supporters, and they're like, you can see they're angry and they're flicking him off and they're like oozing at the mouth, like, you know, pure hatred. So it's like, kill your local pedophile now triggers MAGA. Kill your local pedophile now sends the Trump cult into fits of rage and anger. Eesh. Yikes. That ain't very good. All right. Let's do geopolitics. Let's switch lanes here. Let's get into the geopolitics. This is a joint statement from the UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The UAE, KSA, that's Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Jordan, Indonesia, Pakistan, Turkey, and Egypt. And this is basically all of them standing out against Israel. The Gulf nation states are now pivoting and going anti-Israel. And it looks like the aggression on Turkey is what is causing this. Now, up to this point, you could tell that the Gulf nation states kind of had some hesitancy. Now, they wanted to trust Trump. Maybe they have good relations with Trump. And maybe even to a certain degree, they were just betting on the United States of America coming out of this thing, golden and having total control over what happens next. Well, that ship has kind of sailed. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with the potential results of the midterms, but that timing could be relevant as well. Now, they're making this mostly about Israel's aggression. They're making this statement mostly about how aggressive Israel is, and they have to stop the death and destruction. And essentially, Israel has turned the entire Middle East into a war zone, and they've taken the peace that the Gulf nations used to have, and they've turned it into all-out war, and they're blaming this on Israel, not Iran, by the way. Israel. So I think the real catalyst of this was Israel's aggression towards Turkey, which we saw this months out. I told you Israel's next war was going to be Turkey. We predicted that months ago. Now that's officially the rhetoric that's coming out. I've got other examples of that. The real question is, has Trump lost the Gulf nation states? Now, that's another thing we've been warning about. There was a New York Times article and a Washington Post article and a Wall Street Journal article all claiming that the Gulf nation states' trust level with Trump is starting to evaporate. Now you have this joint statement. Now they're turning on Israel and joining Turkey. Guys, this situation might be a lot worse than people are reporting or anticipating. And I've said it. And now you got Trump is about to get into another trade war with Canada, another trade war with the EU. Guys, I'm telling you, I don't think we properly appreciate just how much Trump has fucked our foreign relations. I mean, raped. You think it's bad? It's like Trump lied to us and we're pissed off. He did the same thing to every single world leader. You don't think they're pissed off? There is a good chance that Trump could turn the entire world against us, guys. That's how bad this thing is. Trump is literally gutting the country and the future of this country for his own selfish desires. Or maybe he's just completely compromised by blackmail. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, the same sense of betrayal and distrust now that the American people, including three-time Trump voters like myself, have towards Trump, now world leaders are starting to experience this same thing. The Gulf nation state leaders are starting to feel the same thing. The EU leaders are starting to feel the same thing. Nobody can trust Trump. Everyone looks at Trump as a complete liar now. This whole thing is about to just collapse. And for whatever reason, Trump refuses to get out of this disastrous foreign policy. And we can only ask why. Is it because he's totally bought and paid for by the Israeli lobby? Or is it because he's in the Epstein files in not a good way? It's a fair question. No accusation, just a fair question. Before MAGA heads explode here, it's just a fair question. Why? But now the signs of the rest of the world starting to have that same sense of betrayal and distrust, now these signs are starting to come to fruition as well. None of this timing is good. I mean, you could talk about the midterms, but I'm saying this is only going to enhance the issues that are stemming from this war in Iran, and it's only going to enhance the desperation of Netanyahu and Trump, who are essentially both facing election here in a couple months. Netanyahu in October and Trump in November. Now you can say, well, Trump's not on the ballot. Well, his name isn't. But I think we all agree if the Democrats win the House and the Senate that Trump's getting impeached and who knows what happens after that. It's not going to be good. So I just expect there's going to be more signs that the rest of the world now feels like Trump has betrayed them and lied to them just like we do. And it's so funny, too, because you can tell that they've just been lying through this whole thing. You know, Trump has said the war was over, 100 times, blah, blah, blah. It was all a lie. And now Scott Bessent says, okay, the quote is, we're entering the end game, and they're calling it the economic D-Day against Iran. Now, of course, what's the problem here? Well, you're getting into World War III territory. You're going to have to deal with China. You're going to have to deal with Russia. You already are. You're going to have to deal with Pakistan. Now the Gulf nation states are turning on you. What are you going to do? Is Trump just going to send our military to war against the entire planet for Israel? Is Trump just going to crash our economy because he's too stubborn? What is going to happen here? But see, when Besant says this is the end game, that's the big admission that they lied to you from day one. They have been lying to you about this war from day one. And now Besant is, well, maybe Besant's lying, but he's like, oh, this has been our plan all along. You know, we're at the phase now where we turn up the economic screws and we finally win the war. It's like, we already won the war over a year ago, and what are you even talking about? So the whole plan was there the whole time. So they're just lying their way through the whole thing. And at this point, there's no evidence to point to and say that this is good for the country. It hasn't happened. Every result of this war has been bad for the country. And now we're starting to actually get a little more information about what's happening. Pentagon weighing smaller U.S. military presence in Gulf once Iran war ends. An analysis, which the Defense Department said was not a formal review, will help address whether to rebuild strike-battered bases, said people familiar with the matter. So let me translate this for you guys. Iran has destroyed 15 military bases in the Middle East and the Gulf nation states. 15. They've destroyed them so bad, and who knows how many casualties there have been. They claim there's only 18, but I think they're lying about that. I think most people would assume they're lying about that at this point. They have destroyed 15 military bases, and it's so bad that the Pentagon is saying we can't afford to rebuild them. Now, the result of this, hey, I'm all for bringing our troops home. I'm all for abandoning the Middle East anyway. So, you know, it's like, hey, let's just get the hell out of the Middle East. But, you know, that's not how this is going to go. But see, they don't tell their audiences this with the network news, do they? The MAGA news sources, Fox News, they're not going to tell their audience that we've lost 15 bases, that Iran has destroyed 15 bases, and now the Pentagon, that's totally broke, is looking at it saying, well, I guess that's that. That's like you just totaled 15 cars, guys. The Trump administration has totaled 15 cars, and there's no money to replace them. And now, oh my gosh. And now Mike Pence tells Trump he's going to have to go ahead and finish the job in Iran, and we all know what that means. This is what Trump is being told, guys. Trump is being told your only option now is boots on the ground. Trump is being told your only option now is either a nuclear bomb or boots on the ground. Now, of course, if anybody uses a nuclear bomb against Iran, then that just shows who the real demons are. If the United States or Israel decided to use some nuclear bomb against Iran, that would just show the world who the real monsters are. And that would just show the world that the whole lie about you can't have a nuclear weapon because you would use it was just propaganda, which of course it already is. We already know that, but that would just be the total confirmation that who the real evil monsters are. And say what you want about Iran's leadership. I'm not promoting them. I wouldn't want to live under them. I'm not saying they're good. But the whole notion here is that they're bad because they would use a nuke. Well, then but they didn't, and they don't even have one. And then if you did use the nuke, well, if that's the formula here, then what are you? You're the evil monster. You're worse than anybody else on planet Earth. Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, which look to be the worst men on Earth right now. It looks like Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu are the two worst men on planet Earth. And if there's any two men that you can point to and say, who's keeping us from world peace? It's probably those two men. And of course, the big lie is that they're the ones pushing for world peace. They're the two biggest warmongers on the planet right now. Bibi Netanyahu and Donald Trump have put the world closer to nuclear war and World War III than anybody else on the planet. Now, Netanyahu is claiming, of course he is. This is what they do. Netanyahu is claiming Iran tried to assassinate one of his sons. Netanyahu is speaking on a phone call with Israel's Channel 11 military correspondent when he stated that the Islamic regime tried to assassinate one of his sons. Okay, now, it goes on here. This is from the Jerusalem Post. Now, think about it like this. Netanyahu did not appear to say whether it was Yair or Avner that was the target of Iran assassination attempt. So he didn't say much. He just said Iran's trying to kill his kids. Now, he might be lying about that. It could be true. You know, I wouldn't be surprised either way. But I will throw this out there because this is definitely worth considering. If Iran is threatening to kill Yair Netanyahu, who last anybody has seen lives in Florida, lives in America, so that would mean that Iran has assassins inside the country, is what that would mean. Indeed. Pretty big actually. I want to move through this as we close out the hour here, so I want to try to move forward as quickly as possible. So, you know, one of the biggest war hawks out there is Mark Levin. He's one of the biggest traitors to the United States of America in the history of this country, even. And Fox News puts him on the air every week. So, you know, this is the type of stuff, guys. I don't even want to give it context. Why don't you just listen to what Levin says here? And I'm curious how this makes you feel.
If you reject Judaism and you reject Christianity and you reject the link of the two, you reject the Bible. If you reject Judaism and Christianity and the brotherhood and the sisterhood of the two, not only are you rejecting our founding, you're rejecting our country. You're pushing some other agenda, whatever that agenda may be.
Of all the different lies, of all the propaganda that Mark Levin has ever spewed, this might be the most offensive. I'm running out of words to describe the absolute monster that Mark Levin is. This is a demon. Mark Levin is a demon in a human skin suit. I'm totally convinced. Or maybe somebody has him on video, you know, doing something gross to a pig, and that's why he has to do this on air every day, because he doesn't want a video of getting out of him with an animal. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why Mark Levin would say something like this on the air. Let's go through this piece by piece. How does that make you feel, by the way? Let's go through this one piece by piece.
If you reject Judaism and you reject Christianity and you reject the link of the two, you reject the Bible.
Wow. All right, let's break that down. If you reject Judaism, well, what does that even mean? How can you reject Judaism? What does that mean? Does that mean that I don't believe that Mark Levin is superior to me because he's Jewish and I'm not? To reject Judaism, does that mean to reject the idea of racial supremacy? Don't say it's religious supremacy, because it has nothing to do with religion. You can't be Jewish. I can't be Jewish. Unlike, as he mentions, Christianity, you can become a Christian right now. You can convert and you can be a Christian right now. You give your life to Jesus Christ, you're a Christian. You're welcomed into the church, you are a Christian. Anybody can become a Christian right now. Would you like to be a Christian? Would you like to learn about Jesus Christ? You can be a Christian. You can't be Jewish. What do you mean rejecting Judaism? What does that even mean, Mark? How can I reject Judaism? You guys reject the Goy. You reject the Gentiles. I can never be a chosen one. I can never be a racial supremacist like you, Mark. So if I'm rejecting racial supremacy, does that mean I'm rejecting Judaism? Is that what it means? Because I can't be Jewish. It's not a faith. It's not a religion. It's a racial supremacy group. Is it not? Am I misinterpreting this? And then he says, oh, you're rejecting Christianity. It's in the Bible. Well, no, actually. No, Mark. You're rejecting the Bible. You're rejecting Christianity. The new covenant is that you are not the chosen people. The new covenant is that anybody that gives their life to Jesus Christ is now the church of Israel and the chosen people. That's the Bible. That's the new covenant. So you are actually the one rejecting the Bible, Mark. You are actually the one rejecting Christianity, Mark. And it's one thing for you to go out there and lie about politics for money. It's a whole nother thing to lie about somebody's soul, to lie about somebody's faith and religion. That makes you a demon, Mark. Are you a demon? Are you a demon in a human skin suit, Mark Levin? Starting to seem that way. You're definitely a coward and a traitor. But are you a demon too? Is that the bottom line here? So no, Mark, sorry. Just because we don't want to fight another war for genocidal maniacs in the Middle East that just so happen to be Israeli, that doesn't mean we're rejecting Christ. That doesn't mean we're rejecting the Bible. But see, now Mark realizes, there's kind of an overwhelming trump card here, which is just reject religion altogether. And then what? Oh, then what, Mark? Let's say I just reject your idea of religion altogether. Let's say I reject all of it. Now what power do you have on me? Oh, that's right, none. Ooh. And you know what? That's what people are going to do. If you're going to have somebody like Mark Levin dictating what it means to be a Christian to people, you know what people are going to do? They're going to leave the faith. They're going to leave the church. And they're going to say, you know what? If this is what I have to do to be Christian, some demon like Mark Levin talking down on me, I'm out. I'm not Christian anymore. Now what are you going to say, punk? Now that you can't bash your religious superiority over my head, what are you going to say now, you little punk bitch?
If you reject Judaism and Christianity and the brotherhood and the sisterhood of the two, not only are you rejecting our faith.
No, that's not how this works. It's not the brotherhood and the sisterhood, Mark. No. No, Christianity is the father. Christianity is the father. And in this, I guess, analogy, Judaism would be no longer with us. They'd be passed on. That's the new covenant. That's the New Testament. That's Christianity. The Messiah came. He saved us. It's not a brotherhood. It's not a sisterhood. It's over. The book is closed. It's Christianity now, Mark.
You're rejecting our country.
Oh, and now you're rejecting our country, too. Isn't that amazing? This little sniveling worm. And then he has this woman on his show over the weekend. I mean, it couldn't be more obvious. She's here with multiple stars of David and everything else, but she says, I'm Iranian. For me as an Iranian, my appetite is quite high for high gas prices and higher cost of living in America. An Iranian, she says, as she's clearly just a Jewish supremacist. Oh, and she goes on Mark Levin's show and says, hey, Americans, as an Iranian, I'm glad you're paying more for gas. As an Iranian, I'm glad that America is unaffordable now. This is so unpalatable. It's like nausea-inducing. It's like, what do they call that? There's that serum that you drink, you vomit immediately. That's Mark Levin. That's these rabid Zionists that are putting every other issue on earth first ahead of America's interest. And then they go on Fox News and they tell you it's a good thing. It's a good thing your country is owned by foreign interests. It's a good thing your country is being sacrificed for Israel. It's a good thing. They tell you this is your role. This is your role. Look at me. I'm Mark Levin. We have two Zionists on TV. We have two religious supremacists on TV telling you, the American, hey, it's good you're being sacrificed for my cause. That's your role here. We are superior to you. Nausea-inducing, vomit-inducing. Get ready. The gag reflex of the American people for demons like that is just beginning. We're just beginning to gag a little bit. We're just beginning to, Soon we'll be vomiting, projectile vomiting you guys out everywhere. You're so disgusting. And now this guy, Jonathan Pollard, who shouldn't even be allowed to walk around freely, a total traitor. I mean, a literal convicted traitor. And now Jonathan Pollard, who we let out of prison, an Israeli spy, we let out of prison, and now he is running for the office in Israel. He's running for office in the Knesset. And as part of his campaign, he says we need to go to war with Turkey and Egypt. Oh, yeah. We let out an Israeli spy We let him out of prison, and now he's running for office in Israel, and his campaign is we need to go to war with Turkey and Egypt. And of course, that means us, the American people, not the Israelis. That means our people, our blood, our treasure. Why do we tolerate this as Americans? What happened? What happened to our country? What happened to our soul? What happened to our spirit? We let this traitor, we let this Israeli spy traitor out of prison, and now he's going to run for office in Israel, and he's going to say, we're going to send more American blood and treasure to the Middle East to die for our causes because they're our slaves. What happened, America? Oh, and that TikTok purchase by the Ellisons is going quite nicely. They're banning all anti-Israel accounts, including big ones like Kim Iverson's. Kim Iverson has been banned from TikTok for criticizing Israel. Now, one more thing, well, I guess two more things before we move on from this into the final hour. Iran announces gas discovery after war worsens energy squeeze. Iran announces 7.5 trillion cubic feet of natural gas discovery in Fars province. Iran said it discovered more than 7.5 trillion cubic feet of natural gas after months of war with the U.S. and Israel seriously disrupted the energy sector. So, I mean, this is a pretty massive discovery. And then they announce it to the world. Iran announces new natural gas discovery as war and U.S. sanctions hamper production. This is the Times of Israel here. Islamic Republic's oil minister predicts the field could produce 1 billion cubic feet of gas a day for 15 years, though any new production will likely take some time to materialize. So I've got to wonder about this. I'm a little curious why Iran would announce this discovery now. And if you would allow me to be a little conspiracy theorist here. I think this is bait. I'm crazy. I'm being a conspiracy theorist here. I got my tinfoil hat on. I'm telling you, this is my conspiracy theory today. I think it's bait. I think Iran is trying to get the U.S. to invade. They probably have some traps set up. And I think they're claiming they found this gas because they think that will lure the United States into an invasion. That's what I think. I don't understand how it makes any sense. Why would Iran announce this to the world, especially right now? Why would they announce this when the U.S. military is sitting on its shores? It's just cranking for an invasion. And then you come out and say, hey, look, we just found a natural gas field. To me, that screams bait. Screams bait. Now, the field might exist. Maybe the field exists. Maybe it doesn't. But to me, that just screams bait. They want the U.S. to go in there, guys. They want it. I don't know why. You can imagine why. But it just screams bait to me. Why else would you make this announcement right now? Unless you are asking somebody to go in there. Oh, you know, the U.S. military, famous for intervening for oil, famous for intervening for gas. To me, this whole thing feels like bait. And you know what? The Trump administration is just dumb enough to take it, if that's the case. And this is how well the world peace situation is going. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, Benjamin Netanyahu. New anti-drone cages installed around Abu Dhabi fuel tanks. Massive metal cages are now up around fuel tanks in Abu Dhabi. So thanks to Trump and Netanyahu's war, you know, these refineries are constantly getting attacked. These gas tanks are constantly getting blown up. So now they have to build new infrastructure to protect them, thanks to Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. Way to go, guys. Way to go. Thank you guys so much. There's so much peace breaking out that they now have to put their refineries and gas tanks under anti-drone cages. Thank you so much, Donald Trump. Thank you so much, Bibi Netanyahu.
It's the fastest 3 hours on the internet. It's the Owen Report with Owen Schroyer.
All right, third and final hour here of the Owen Report. Got a couple other odds and ends. A couple random videos I want to play. And then we can get to the super chats. And we can get to maybe even some phone calls. Maybe. Guys, remember, if you haven't given us a subscribe on YouTube, that means a lot. Please do that. Go to the Owen Report on YouTube. Give us a subscribe there. It really helps grow the show. And by the way, that's where we get our super chats from. So if you want to get into the show, that's one way to do it with the super chats. We read every super chat at the end of every transmission. All right, as we said, the Trump coin finally here. 2026 semi-quincentennial $1 coin. Officially in mint with Trump's face on it. Because of course, we can't get enough Trump. Trump can't get enough Trump. That's what this whole thing is about. It's all about Trump, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's just a big Trump TV show. And at the end of it, America is getting screwed. Pretty big time. All right. So a story over the weekend. You may know this account on X, Data Republican. I don't want to get too much into the details or the individuals. I want to give a general sense here. And if you've been watching this show, you know I've been talking about this for some time. How the Trump administration has people that they pick and choose to feed information to. Now, the situation with Data Republican is interesting. And there's some back and forth about whether she was officially an employee at the Department of War or State Department or other such thing. Now they're coming out and basically saying, well, not an official. It's like you can have an outsider contract type of thing, and you're not officially an employee, but you're like a contracted employee. And then there's some drama, and the Department of War employee or State Department, officially, unofficially, known as Data Republican. Name comes out as Jenica Pounds. And she has some feeling, intuition, concern that she was getting set up by the deep state, is what she is feeling like here. And now she's doing interviews, and she's calling out names. And then there's some other similar situations and stories that are kind of all being connected to this. So I just got to tell you, I mean, to me, it just completely confirms what I have been reporting. And if you follow the show, you know I've been warning about this for a while. But basically, the Trump administration picks and chooses people in the media that they will give exclusives to. Now, there can be an operation, and maybe this is what happened to this individual. I do think that they also run different operations where they try to smoke out a rat, or they send information out and they see where it ends up or how it ends up getting reported. And then they can find out who they trust or who's a rat, whatever. And maybe she gets caught up in something like that. But now it's basically completely confirmed. The Trump administration is picking and choosing people to basically rise up through the media. And it's not just who gets access. It's not just who's going to get access. It's also who is getting exclusives. Now, I'm not going to spend much more time on this. In fact, this is pretty much going to be the last statement I make. And I would say maybe just interpret this how you want, or just keep this in mind when you start to see people get these exclusive stories and you say, how the hell are they getting this? They're getting it from the administration, folks. That's what it is. Now, you can support this or you cannot, but this is what's happening. It's now been totally confirmed. There are individuals that the Trump administration has decided they are going to give exclusive stories to. There are individuals that the administration or individuals within the administration have decided they're going to say, hey, go look over here, you're going to find this. Or go look over here, you're going to find this. So it's not just exclusive stories where they might send them a document or they might hand them a story for them to report like it's independent, but it comes from the administration. It's also like a map. It's like, hey, wink, wink, nod, nod. We don't know anything, but hey, if you go over here, right here, this right here, you'll find something. And the administration is running all of these operations through the quote unquote independent media. And so now it's just been confirmed again. So you know what? I do think, yeah, I think so.
And that's another home run from the great Babe Ruth.
Yeah, I think we can take that one too. We saw that one coming a mile away, and just the whole data Republican thing totally confirms it. Well, for her, I say good luck. I say good luck. I think maybe there's a little bit of concern on her behalf, and that's why she's going public with all of this. But Data Republican is not the only one. And I actually think it's honorable what Data Republican has done to put this out in the public. Maybe she does it for other reasons even. Maybe her own protection, her own concern. I don't know. I'm seeing a negative response to it. I disagree. And if people want to have their issues with, the different individuals in the media and how those things get handled, that's fine. But to me, I thought it was a pretty important move for her to do that. All right. Let's quickly move through the rest of this, shall we? Maybe we can squeeze in a call or two, maybe. Over 100-year-old Cleveland church destroyed in massive fire. Friendship Baptist Church was vacant for some time. Firefighters said, this looks like a burn job. Yeah, you got all these churches going up in flames, and then they never get rebuilt. A lot of these beautiful, beautiful structures, too. I wish they would at least repurpose them or something. But this looks to be another fire job, another flame job there. What a shame. What a shame. All right. We got a little slop. I got to tell you, I'm enjoying this slop, though. This has been some of my favorite slop in a while. You've got Enes Kanter. How many of you are familiar with this story now? Enes Kanter is a former NBA player. He's made political statements in the past. Turkish NBA player. He has spoken out against some of the domestic tyranny in Turkey. But now he's on a campaign to get into the WNBA. And since we don't know what a woman is, or I guess maybe since a man can become a woman now, he feels it's time for him to, have a shot in the WNBA. So he's entered the WNBA draft. Royce White has entered the WNBA draft. Now Kanter goes to a WNBA game this weekend. This is pure brilliance from Kanter here. I got to tell you, pure brilliance, and such a stud, such a presence too. I mean, this is like pure WWE. In fact, if I'm Vince McMahon, I'm looking at Enes Kanter and I'm saying, hey, do you want a job? Hey, if I'm Vince McMahon, I'm calling Enes Kanter and I'm saying, Enes, if the whole WNBA thing doesn't work out for you, come join us at the WWE, because this guy's got it. I mean, he's got the flair. So he shows up at the game. I don't know how it goes down, but the players start getting into a verbal altercation with him. Now, I want to say something that no one else has said. In the building. Okay. This is the individual right here. This is the individual. Are you a dude? Bro? Is that you, bro? Seems that you got a little more triggered than anyone else. You also have a very interesting physique. A little more mannish, should I say. Son? Brother? What do you think, guy? Here's my second conspiracy theory of the day. Are we sure? Are we sure about this one right here? You think some other dudes might be encroaching on your territory there, bro? Huh? Maybe there's already some men in the old league. Huh? I don't even, you know what? I don't even know if I want to play this. It's funny, though, because it's a similar thing. I tell you what. I'll just point you where to find it if you want. I'm not going to play it. But it's kind of funny because it's a parallel here to the whole men playing in the WNBA and then other men in there getting mad. These two guys, a white dude and a black dude, they do this bit. The white guy goes out in blackface and the black guy goes out in whiteface. And they, I mean, you know, let's just say it's a total, how would you say it? Like Twilight Zone humor bit where they lean into all the different stereotypes and just, I mean, go all the way. And they do it all in public and people are just looking around like, what in the hell is going on? Like, what in the world? And it just, it proves an artistic point, though. Just like the guys pretending to go into the WNBA, it proves it's like, no, the women are women, men can't be women, and the fact that you won't let these men join the league, even though they claim they are women, that just shows that you don't even believe your own politics. And so it's funny because they go out and they do this bit, and it's, you know, the black guy who's in whiteface being extremely racist, and then the white guy who's in blackface being extremely racist. But guess who they go after for being racist? Guess who's the bad guy for doing the different skin color? It's pretty funny stuff. Apparently there is a hack. If you want to skip security at the airport, has anybody tried this? This could be an interesting hack.
Just to show you one trick, how I pass airport security in Chicago. See? I just put my kippa. And hallelujah, I'm gonna pass airport security right now, which means it took me literally 1 minute to pass airport security with the kippa. It's the best trick ever. Try it for yourself. Peace.
You know, there's an old episode of Seinfeld where his dentist, I forget his dentist's name, Jerry Seinfeld's dentist converts to Judaism, and Jerry thinks that he did it for the advantages that come along with being Jewish, and specifically so he could make Jewish jokes. And I wondered, it is like, you know, it's like, do people just convert to Judaism or pretend that they're Jewish so they can, you know, take advantage of all the different things that you get to do? Dr. Watley. Yeah. That's a pretty funny one. Give it a try. Let me know if you're out there. And by the way, what is going on in New York City? What's with the tunnel people? These guys are jumping out of tunnels. Now they look like Mario Brothers. Look at this one. And apparently this is like a common thing now. And you have people just crawling out of tunnels. What is going on? Is this a bit? Are there like tunnel communities? What's up with the tunnel people in New York City? Somebody get to the bottom of this. It's getting to be a bit outrageous, I have to say. It's getting to be a bit strange, don't you think? You know what? No, I don't know if today is the day. You know, I've been holding on to this boomer bit with Savage for some weeks. You guys may have remembered. I've been sitting on it. I don't know if I want to do it today. I think it's too late. I think it's too late to do it today. I think we can squeeze in a couple calls, and then we can get to our super chats. Hey, by the way, when we sign off, I am doing a debate tonight with Adam King, also known as the Awesome Jew, and he wants to debate me about the midterms. My guess is it goes many directions from there. So we'll be sharing that on X tonight if you want to see that, and we'll be uploading it to the YouTube channel, and so we'll give that to you tomorrow as well, if you want to watch that. So doing that tonight. Just a little programming note. So I think we can do 10 or so minutes of calls. I think we can squeeze in a couple calls. I think we'll take a couple calls today if you're lucky enough to get through. All right. Here we go. Phone lines are open. 747-255-60, 747-255-60. That is the number to call in. You know the deal. I answer the phone. I ask you your name and where you're from, but you are on the air. First caller of the show, what's your name, where you're from?
Hello, this is Karen from California.
Wow, they
It's
let you
me.
they let you pick up the phone today, Karen.
Yes, they did. Because originally, when you started growing your hair, I mentioned a man bun. And I love it. It looks so good. And the color, everything is really good. And I'm going to call the manager and tell him just drop my comments about that because it looks
Whoa,
great.
whoa, Karen.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, guys. This is a moment in history. Everybody stop what you're doing. Karen's complaint with the manager has actually been received and delivered. And now we are all good.
That's right. Don't cut it.
This is a
Go
moment in
just a little
history.
longer.
Well, I'll tell you what, Karen. I knew this was going to come up. I didn't mention it because I knew somebody else would bring it up. I tried it for the first, because, you know, the hair is getting in my eyes now. It's getting a little obnoxious. People are like, I'm sick of Owen playing with the hair. So I was like, you know, that's probably true. And I was getting sick of it too. But I never really thought I would do this look. It was never a look I really thought about. If I was 19 and I saw myself doing this, I'd probably try to fight me. But I did it over the weekend, and it got some compliments. I was out this weekend, and I got quite a few compliments on it. And I wasn't even going to do it on the show today, and then my hair was in my eyes, so I was like, screw it, whatever. I'll just hear from the audience on it. So, Karen, your complaint has been heard, and now I think that everybody's better for it.
Yes, you look like a Viking.
There it is. Karen winning. Total win from Karen today. Absolutely. How about that to open the phone lines? Next caller, what's your name? Where you from?
Yeah, Jacob calling from South Florida.
All right, Jacob, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, Owen? How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
I don't know. I'm just chilling here doing some calculus homework. I just thought I'd give you a shout.
Calculus homework?
Oh, yeah.
Are you in college?
I am, and I'm 37 working towards my degree.
What, do you mind? What university?
I'm going to a junior college, Florida State College at Jacksonville, but I'm about to graduate.
Okay. What, doing calculus, what is this, engineering? What are we talking here?
No, I think I'm going to go to flight school.
Okay. Okay. Doing homework, listening to the Owen Report, does that work? I feel like I would be distracting.
No, it's just noise in the background at this point.
All right. All right.
But anyways, I was going to tell you, flying is going to get super expensive because they just announced that all the fuel for the aircraft are going to go up exponentially, especially for pilot training. So that's going to trash the pipeline for pilots for U.S. students. So it's all just going to be foreigners who are going to be flying airplanes here now.
Let's try to rephrase that, make it a little more consumable. It sounds like what you're saying is, because people don't know the industry you're talking about, it sounds like the cost of flight school are about to go up to such a degree that Americans won't be able to afford it anymore. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. The equilibrium price is going to rise.
Well, there have been the issues with the jet fuel prices. There's no indicator that they're coming down anytime soon. I wouldn't even have thought of that. So I'm glad that you can enlighten us on that.
Yeah, I fly unmanned aircraft drones right now. Actually pretty large ones. Everybody would hate on me if I told you all what I did. But yeah, I fly drones for the government right now.
Well, you don't need to say anything else. In fact, I'm going to tell you to get back to your homework. But, brother, you're not alone. There's good guys in government. You're not alone. Nobody would judge you here. Trust me. Trust me. If people knew where I get some of my information, they might be shocked too. So don't think just because you're a good guy, maybe in not so great of a place, we'll say. Don't think that means we'll judge you or hold that against you. There are lots of good people in places like that. We need you there, and we're glad you're there. So don't even worry about that, brother. Next caller, what's your name, where you're from?
Hey, Owen, Don from Orange County.
All right, Don, go ahead. We all know what just happened. Just go on. We just make your point.
Well, are we really at the point where where your hair is coming into play over all the shit that's going on in this world.
Yeah. Yes. The answer to that is yes. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't anticipating this, but yes.
I want to head off a couple super chats that I put up. I was rhetorically, I had a question. I was asking you if you were being compensated for talking about the midterms and impeachment like it's still a thing. And it was a rhetorical question, man. I didn't want you to freak out when you saw that.
Oh, okay. You didn't want me to crash out? We say crash out here.
Yeah, I didn't want you to get all carrying out on me like like on Friday.
We say crash out, Don.
Hey, man, I want you to know something. Impeachment, I mean, everyone's calling for it or talking about, I mean, come on, man. What the hell are we talking about? Bill Clinton got impeached. What did it do? It didn't do nothing. It's a public scolding. They're going to charge him with all these things. And it's like,
well, now hold on a second. I can't disagree that you have the past as prologue on your side with this. But do you really think if the Democrats saw an opening to actually get Trump not just impeached but removed from office, they wouldn't do it?
Well, sure, they'll remove him. But I'm talking about what's that going to do, though? I mean, that's like being fired from your job. So what? Look at the guy.
You know what? That's interesting. I don't know. I'm not so sure. Honestly, I'm not so sure because I'm telling you, man, the insider trading angle, the blowing up of the schoolgirl, I think there's serious stuff there. Now, I'm not saying, I get the direction you're going. I do. I just don't know if we can look at that. I don't know if we can look at this story of potential impeachment through the angle of history. I think it's unprecedented. I think we're looking at an unprecedented situation with Trump now and a potential impeachment. I do get what you're saying, and history is on your side. But I think we could be in unprecedented waters in this Trump situation. And maybe that's how it's all supposed to go down. Like I said, maybe that's the Q plan. I don't know. Next caller, what's your name, where you're from?
I'm Johnny from Canada.
Oh, Johnny in Canada. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, man. It's good to be on the show. I've been watching you for quite a while there, ever since you left InfoWars. So I was just wondering, I was hoping to get your take on the trade war between Canada and the United States. Like, some of our politicians have really put their foot in their mouths and really angered your president. So, what do you have to say about that?
Well, it does seem to be a lot of talk, a lot of bloviating, a lot of talk. I will say, if you look at just the raw trade between U.S. and Canada, the case could be made that it hurts Canada a lot worse than it hurts America. The case can be made that Canada is much more reliant on America than vice versa. But the one angle that I saw that is, I kind of incorporated in this to my geopolitics earlier, Canada is now reaching out to the EU. And I have a feeling that some of the attitude here, Carney reaching out to the different European Union countries, I have a feeling some of the approach and some of the attitude here is, hey, fuck Trump, right? And there might be, I bet there's probably plenty of world leaders that are like, yeah, you know what, kind of, yeah, fuck Trump. So they might be willing to start working out some kind of deals to isolate America. Now, I'm all for American independence. I want none of this to affect my country anyway, but I don't know if we're really in that position. I think Trump has kind of abandoned that agenda, and so I don't know. That could end up actually being a bad deal for the United States.
Yes, 100%. I mean, like, our countries and our economies are so interdependent. And, I don't know, being a conservative in Canada is kind of a weird spot right now because, there's this attitude that Carney is bad, right? Like, he's a globalist. We all know that. He's Justin Trudeau on steroids, right? A lot of us understand that, but there's also this attitude that a lot of people have that because Carney is bad, Trump is good. And a lot of people are really, they're overlooking the Iran war. They're overlooking Epstein. And I find it really interesting that Trump has a lot to say about Doug Ford, but he had nothing to say about Wab Kinew, and he's the premier of Manitoba, who's a socialist. He's not a good guy. But if you look up his comments about the Iran war and affordability and Trump potentially getting absolutely decimated in the midterms, it's really interesting that he was way more on target than Doug Ford, and that's been ignored by Trump. He hasn't spoken about that. So.
It does seem, I don't know about this guy, it does seem the line for Trump is, are you with Israel or not? More so than any other line in the sand. I mean, look at how he cozies up to Giuliani in Syria. Look at how he cozies up to Mamdani in New York City. It seems the line for Trump is, at least with the foreign relations, is are you friendly with Israel or not? And if you are, then you're good to go. If you're not, then all of a sudden he wants to crush you. So I don't know if that's the case with the individual you're talking about, but it just seems that's kind of the starting point if you want to figure out what's really going on with these relations.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, anything else up there in the north?
Not really. Just we are continuing our slide into globalism up here, man.
You and us
it
both.
Seems like our politicians and our leaders are perfectly content to sabotage our own economy. Like, I'm not a big fan of what your administration is doing, but at the end of the day, you guys are still our largest trading partner. And I don't know, man, I'm hoping that your show can continue to wake people up to that fact, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's the biggest small show on the internet. That's what we're calling it now. It's true. We don't have the biggest audience, but we have some of the biggest people listening. Next caller, what's your name? Where you from?
Hi, Owen. My name's Andrea. I'm calling from Chi-Town, Illinois.
What's up, Andrea?
This is neither here nor there. I'm lefty, libtard, all the way. But I'm kind of wanting to, and it's about Jan 6, but I don't want to get too personal with anything. But, like, it has to do with Jan 6. And kind of the first time I realized that Trump was almost inhuman. And, like, kind of like, okay, so we don't agree with that. We don't agree with anything about Jan 6, whatever. But, like, when I really had, like, a big light bulb moment for myself about his personality, like, the kind of person that he actually is, I was like, okay, Trump, a lot of people went to jail for you. A lot of people are in prison for you. A lot of people did a lot of really, they went hard in the paint for you. Hard in the paint. And I think when you're looking at kind of things from over here, and you're like, okay, we're going to disagree. I think he lied. I think people did things for him because of those lies. I think that's not their fault. And I think that was my big light bulb moment for him because we kind of look at that situation and how when you look at normal people going through things maybe in the court system or whatever, the truth will come out or whatever. And if he was ever held accountable, it wouldn't have been about the people that went and did things for him. It would have been about Trump saying,
okay, I'm trying to figure. I get what you're saying now. I'm trying to find a way. I'm trying to find a way to translate this from Chicago Valley Girl speak into professional content here, if you will.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
What's funny
I've been
though?
drinking all day. I was home today, but no. I guess what I'm trying to say is if Trump was held accountable, if he went to court, and if he would have been hey, Owen, I'm sorry that I lied to you. I'm sorry that you did this. That would have been normal, that would have been how normal people
I get what you're saying. Let me yeah, Andrea, let me cut you off right there. Thank you for the call. Enjoy what is it you're drinking exactly?
I just had some wine. I'm sorry.
Drink that wine.
But
I hope it's red wine. That's all. But enjoy. Hey, enjoy. Enjoy the rest of summer. See, she took note, guys. She took note about the opening of the show. We only have a week left of August to spend it how you want. So I say to you, Andrea, enjoy. It's funny she says that. I don't know if she was tuned in earlier, but I talked about how I'm getting calls and messages, from people that are starting to say, hey, you were right about everything, and we're starting to realize it here. One of the exact nature of one of those calls is essentially what Andrea is trying to express here, and maybe getting a little mental block obstacle from the wine. But basically, one of the calls I received was, we've been holding out hope, working in good faith, and we really thought that certain people meant what they said about helping us out with this issue, or certain people meant what they said about taking care of some of the stuff that we've had to go through. I'm sorry for the ambiguous nature of this, guys, but I have to keep my sources totally, I can't give really any clues. I'm sorry for being ambiguous. But it's basically what Andrea is saying. It's somebody that went through a lot, paid a heavy price, some guarantees, promises, conversations were had, and it's just like, nope, just not happening. And this isn't a single issue. There are multiple issues stemming from this. But yeah, it's like the people are starting to realize, basically, if it doesn't benefit Donald Trump, he's not doing it, period. And he will say anything. He will lie to your face just to keep whatever he needs out of you in that moment. And then when it's time for his moment of delivery, he will not deliver. So this is the nature of some of the phone calls. So I get what Andrea is saying here. It's like, yeah, you can sense the personality. Like you can sense, it's like, it's what can you do for me? And then I'll never do anything for you. I'll leave it at that for now. And let's go to our super chats. We did have if that international caller pops back up, I suppose I could take. I'll tell you what. I'll wait a second here. We did have an international caller try to get through while the line was busy. If that number pops back up, I'll give it a second here just to give them a shot. We appreciate our international callers, not just from Canada. This one came from across the pond. I know that because of you look at phone numbers long enough, you start to realize where area codes are. So apologize to that caller overseas. We're just gonna move on. We're just gonna shut down the phone lines and go to our super chats now. So sorry we didn't get you to today. We'll try again next time. That's gonna be it for the phone calls. We squeezed a couple in. I think we did good. Okay. As we do at the end of every broadcast, we go to our super chats. Guys, remember, if you like the shirts, the Owen Report polo shirts, you can get them at owenschroyer.store. owenschroyer.store for all of the merch I wear on air. All right. Super chats, here we go. Expose 305 starts us off. Just need to turn this off, actually. Okay. The cry of the families being blown up in the Middle East for filthy lucre will not go in vain. People act as if there's no Christ believer in those countries. It's amazing what Christians and pro-lifers are willing to ignore as long as it happens in the Middle East or it happens if Israel's doing it. It's really sad, actually. Pittsburgh bad. Owen looking like the last samurai. Tom Cruise had dark hair in that movie, didn't he? But yeah, I guess okay, I'll take that. Maybe I am. Woofy, Jeffrey Epstein, files leak with Trump in them. Yeah, if they do another Epstein drip, just know that's it. They got Trump badly, and then the big war's coming. What's up with Trump having to pay Melania? I don't know much about it. I don't know about that. It's hard to say for sure. I think it's like a non-issue compared to everything else out there. Melania seemed to be content enough at the F1 race this weekend, so kind of a nothing burger to me. The chat out of the people in the media that peddle slop for MSM, do any of them indicate that they have any shame? Well, I wouldn't say it like that, but yes, I guess, to answer your question. Instead, though, I would put it like this. They know. They know. They know, and they let me know they know. So take that how you will, and then if you want to use my coverage as guidance, that's fine. I'm very strategic about it for obvious reasons. I think you and the audience have enough discernment that I don't have to make that like a driving content factor for the show. But to answer your question, yeah, there are those exactly as you describe. If you want to say shame, you can say shame. I don't want to say that. I would say it's just they have awareness. They know. They let me know. They know. Gladiator Girl, love you, Owen. Let the hair meltdowns begin. Well, it's going to wait till I do a selfie video. That's when they'll go crazy over it. By the way, thank you. I love your crash out. Daily drink with green powder and half coconut water and half aloe vera juice. It's a meal. How about that? Thank you, Gladiator Girl. Enjoy the crash out. Tay-Tay, Cox and Spectrum recently merged. Owen has Cox Spectrum. I'm just going to let you have that one, Tay-Tay. Annie B. But Owen, Bongina tells us the commies will take over and it will all be our fault. Oh, yes. Whatever will we do? Thank you for exposing the ongoing scam that is DJT and the GOP. Oh, Bongina. What a story that ended up being. Man. Ends up being one of the biggest phonies out there. Eric Spracklin follows me. Fishback likes my post. Hey, Spracklin is a real one. Gigi and Brianna Morello are Argentine Italians. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Trump is scum. What are the odds that we get Argentina and then Argentina back to back in the super chats? Don't give me a third one. No. I predicted this a while ago. We subsidized the big agro farmers to then sell us back bad beef. Yeah. Brianna Morello's blue Lululemons. What are you doing, Tay-Tay? Why are you doing this? What are you doing, man? Last thing we need to do is monkey this up. Are you talking about the DeSantis? He's not going to endorse anybody? Is that what we're talking about? Boy, are you behind. Trump is a globalist isn't breaking news. Impeachment is a joke with no consequences, so who cares? Stop it with the midterms, dude. That was Don. He called in earlier. We got to talk about the midterms. The midterms are still a thing. They're still going to happen. So we have to talk about the midterms. You can't do political talk and ignore the midterms. And the midterms drive so many things right now. Wooded Bagley, I'm not even that bummed out that the news lately. I'm actually looking forward to UBI and a Tesla Tradwife bot and being able to sit at home donating plasma and watching Piers Morgan debates all day. Hey, as long as you get access to the weight room, as long as you get access to the gym, you know what'll be funny? It's like this is all entering WALL-E territory, the movie WALL-E. But it's not going to be, not everybody's going to want to be a fat loaf. There will be people that will stay active, but some will become truly fat loaves. Washington, D.C.'s ballroom is a new data center. Well, it'll be like the AI supercomputer headquarters where they can just probably have total spy grid access to everything. Trump actually yelled queef, queef, queef in Butler. I don't know. You've had better jokes, Dustfault. At this, I need to ask, are you being compensated for continuing this Dem rep illusion and validate the impeachment and midterms by talking about it? I know you were kidding, Don. It's funny, though, because, I saw somebody, some big account this week. It might have been over the data Republican drama. I can't remember. But, yeah, it was some big debate about, it's like, well, I'll go ahead and I'll put it into my own words. You should really know, and it doesn't mean this can impact how you feel about somebody or not, but I do think now more than ever, it's important to know the funder or the owner of your source for news. I think that's more important than ever. It could give a very important context to the headline you're reading or the exclusive report that you're receiving. Who owns that? Who's paying for this content to be put out? Now, I own the WIN Network. The World Independent News Network is owned by me. We have sponsors on the show. You know who these sponsors are. You know the proprietary products that I sell. Shirts, Crash Out Energy. That's who funds this. So there's no overarching funder. I never took any money from anybody to do this. We have sponsors that they want me to sell their products on the show. They don't get involved with creative or anything like that. And then I've got proprietary products that I sell. So this is truly fully independent. There are others out there like me. But I think that now more than ever, it's like, yeah, maybe just look at the source, look who's funding it, look who owns it, and that might give some important context as to the what or why the story is being presented as it is. Anna X, I believe Trump is a globalist all along. He was just waiting for the right time for him to take the biggest crap on us. It's hard not to think that, if not conclude that. This administration will be looked at 1 million times worse than Bush, Clinton, Obama combined. You know, there's going to be a lot of people that want to deny that. There's going to be a lot of MAGA people that might even be willing to admit it didn't go well, but they'll never be willing to admit that. That is way more accurate. That is a way higher likelihood right now than Trump being admired when he leaves office. That's just truly the cult people that think that. I would say at this rate, he is on pace to probably be worse. Yeah. Yeah. And part of that's probably amplified by the total betrayal, but that's how it works. Ivan, as a Dem, my point of view, I think the GOP is punishing Paxton for defeating Cornyn, and they know he needs cash for his campaign. In order to get GOP money, they are forcing him to promote it. I'd say that's a pretty fair analysis, especially since we are now, right before that, seeing Tallarico apparently rising in the polls. What a disaster we have here in Texas, guys. What a disaster. I still think I got Paxton, but this is just getting I'll vote for Paxton, but this is just getting into disaster territory. Who is amazed? Trump team is selling Trump coins and removing liquidity. In case you didn't know, that's literally textbook rug pulling crypto bros talk about. Trump's a huge POS. They are forcing Paxton to promote data centers. It's just so pathetic. They're so unpopular here, too. It's a big issue here. Trump was brought in to bankrupt the country, finish what was left of the closeted GOP, the dollar and the sell mark of the beast. Certainly, that I'd say the odds of that happening are better than any MAGA happening. Matt Von Goyslop. Leave Matt alone. He's good. He's good. He's not the problem. Next rally will have Biden social distancing circles. Careful. Careful now. I predicted Turkey when he wanted to leave NATO years ago, but now fake Israel is hinting at threatening Egypt too. I didn't think they'd go with Egypt now. I thought it just shows how desperate they are, honestly. It shows how desperate Netanyahu is. It shows how desperate Israel is. They know they've lost the whole world. Israel knows that most of the planet looks at them as complete and utter demons. And it's unfortunate for Israelis that have nothing to do with this. It's like, I as an American, I don't want to be held to the standard that people have for Trump or Biden. It's like, I think Trump's a monster. I think Biden was corrupt. I don't want to be viewed through that lens. The Israelis many Israelis, they don't want to be viewed through the lens of Netanyahu, especially since they try to put that on every Jew on planet Earth. That's what they try to do. But yeah, I figured they'd wait till the job in Iran was done, then they'd move on Turkey, and then they'd move on Egypt. But they're so desperate, they're just going to go for it all. They might go for it all before the end of the year. Guys, you look. Maybe it's time to kind of recategorize this. It's time to kind of recategorize and understand this. We're dealing with psychotic mass murderers is what we're dealing with. Okay? So this is like Israel is at the end of, if you've seen the movie American Psycho. So I don't know, everybody's probably seen it, but spoiler alert if you haven't. Spoiler alert if you've never seen American Psycho. Israel is like at the end of American Psycho where it's like it has to kill everybody now. It's like at the end of American Psycho, he thinks, I'm about to get caught. There's no hiding now. It's just, unalive everybody. It's like that's the phase I think Israel is at now. Getting away with the mass murder that they've been getting away with. Now it's like, okay, we're not getting away with it. We're not getting away with it. Now everybody just has to go. So it's like, okay, get Turkey. Okay, get Egypt. And the fact that the Gulf nation states are now looking at this and saying, okay, Israel and Trump never meant peace at all. They lied about the whole thing. These are psychotic mass murderers. Yeah, I think everything is about to change big time. I don't think it, even for us that talk about this all day, it starts to feel like you can just look at this through a raw psychology analysis and just say, yeah, these are psychotic mass murderers. These are serial killers. They feel they're trapped. And so now it's just like, now everyone has to go. So now, okay, well, we're going into Egypt. We're going into Turkey. Who's next? The entire of the Gulf nation states? Lil Salami, the anti-trans crap that MAGA spews was imported here by globalists with Rosso Hungo agenda. Oh, and I think the Newsom story is more evidence a deal has been struck. Trump has made no arrests, and likewise, there will be no impeachment when Dems take control of Congress. You know, I agree that clearly a deal has been struck, but I disagree. The Democrats will stab him in the back. Telling you, guys, I'm telling you, there's all these deals being made right now, and at the end of it, they're all going to turn on one another. Nobody is going to hold up their end of the bargain, which is the great irony of this entire thing. The only people that are holding up their end of the bargain are now the people that have, abandoned and left MAGA and Trump and are getting attacked by it. Those are the only people upholding their end of the deal right now. It's people like me, Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey. We're the only ones holding up our ends of the bargain. The only honorable ones involved in this entire transaction. You really think Trump cutting a deal with the Democrats, they're going to turn on him in a second? You really think all of these fake patriots that are pretending to be MAGA, these grifters, these phonies, these cowards, these frauds, as soon as it gets ugly in D.C., as soon as the weather gets nasty, they're all going to bail? They're not going to be supporting Trump when it gets tough? Hell no. Of course, Trump already, he already took back all the promises he made. There's nobody honorable in this entire thing except the ones that have left MAGA and are calling it out. So I agree. A deal has been struck. But these deals mean nothing. These are all crooks. It was rhetorical. I know you're not being compensated. It's all right. It's all right, Don. Deport Micro Mark. Well, he's technically an American, so I don't know where I think it was born in California, I believe. I don't know where you can deport him to. Maybe just offer him a trip to Israel, just offer it. We're decoupling from British imperialism. Hear a lot of that. Judaism and rejecting religion are not the same thing. Jesus is the only true God, period. It is finished. Blessings all. Jeffrey Knox. And still, Jesus is still Lord. Who the heck listens to Mark Levin? Give me a break. Well, Fox News Sunday boomers. Probably about it, which is a lot of them, and they vote, mostly in Florida. Yo, Brodell, get Kurt Doolittle on your podcast. Everything else is slop. Everything else is slop. Dr. Tim Watley. Nan Rand. The answer to 1984 is to out 1984, the 1984 slop. PFF, Adam King lies. Well, tune into his broadcast tonight. I'll be on it live. Maybe he does super chats. They had to leave tunnels because of the sale on mattresses. I don't know. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. The Farm Girl. The Bible is for our salvation, not for bloodthirsty politicians to use. No one will be saved except through Jesus Christ. Not even the unbelievers. Jeremiah 24, the good figs and the bad figs. Does Vault, what is going on? Johnny says so. Thanks for having me on, Owen. Open invite to come on my show anytime. Good to see other Canucks in here. Johnny says so. Is that your YouTube channel? All right, brother. All right, brother. Even the Greeks outlawed special interest groups 2,000 years ago. Look up proprietarianism, Bubba. The rest is wasting bandwidth. Action, action, action. Wasting bandwidth. How dare you? Get back in your left-right paradigm. Mehdi Hassan. Did Anna ever respond to that? I don't know if she ever responded to that. I don't even want to offer any more of a response than I already did. But you know what? I really think it is at the end of the day. I don't even think it's get back to the left-right paradigm in this instance that you're referring to. For those that don't know, Mehdi Hassan attacked me and, well, mostly attacked me, but kind of attacked Anna Kasparian for coming on the show. But basically, he was scolding Anna for coming on with me, but then attacking me like I'm the bad guy. How dare Anna associate? No, I don't think it's, I don't think that's it. I think Mehdi is jealous, is what I think. He's an ugly little loser. He'll never be cool. He's stuck as an establishment shill for the network news, and he'll never have any career outside of that. And that's why he's jealous. He's envious. He's an ugly little troll stuck at the network news because he has no natural talent on his own. So he's jealous that the cool kids and the good-looking kids are getting together and having lunch and talking politics without him. That's all it is. I don't even think it has anything to do with left, right, anything. I think he's just jealous. I was laughing my ass off when Wifey called in Friday to let you know she saw the Anna interview, and she sounded super jealous. Great interview with Anna and Brandon. Thank you. They're all jealous, man. You have no idea. No idea. Very sweet, though. Trump going to races and sporting events. Shake my head. It's over, old man. You played that card. We all placed our bets, and you folded like a cheap beach chair. Yeah, kind of like the ones they used on the moon landing. That's a rim shot. Do I have one on here? I had one somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, it's like I am all for this. I'd be all for it. The F1 race looks awesome. It's like I can have a objective opinion. That was cool. But it's just like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, wow, this is such a success. We had a car race. It means nothing. It's like, pile in a bunch of illegals into these cars and race across the southern border. Then you have something. It's like, I don't need more slop. I got plenty of slop. I got 500 TV channels of slop. But that's what they're just like, oh my God, Trump had a race. Trump did the F1. Oh, it's so great. It means nothing. Nobody voted for that. It's cool. It's fun. It's meaningless. Most important mid-slop election ever. Could be. You know, the Republicans are going to bill it that way. And it's so ironic. It's like you're going to sit here and they're going to, this is the most important midterms. You need to vote for us. It's like, dude, we already did this. You guys suck. We already voted for you. We gave the Republicans everything. You guys suck. We want a trade. We want to cut you from the roster. You suck. Trump thinks invading Turkey will bring cheap meat. Don't. Pittsburgh bad. He got me today. Usually Dust Volt gets me. Pittsburgh bad. You got me with that. That was a good one. Dropped a penny. Dollar collapse is a must to bring down the New World Order. Well, I guess prepare accordingly then, right? Yeah? Prepare accordingly then? Yeah, I'd say so. Maybe we'll have more on that tomorrow. Actually, we're planning on more of that tomorrow, so stay tuned. All right, we're going to sign off here today. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Nice little Monday broadcast. Nice little Monday broadcast to start the week. I'm going to take about a 45-minute break. And then I'm going to be on with Adam King, debating the midterms. The Owen Report will take a 21-hour break, and I will be back on hosting same time, same channel tomorrow. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Guys, please, 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 if you like the show, subscribe on YouTube. Please, I'm begging you. Subscribe on YouTube. Thank you. Godspeed. God bless.